Right, today is the 4th of June 2021, and welcome to the Newspaper Review segment here on Pan African Television. My name is Kwame Owusu, and so it's such an exciting time to be alive because we get to contribute significantly to the growth of our dear nation, Ghana. This morning, I am saddened by my own actions last week in respect of how I reacted to Bernard Monet's ordeal in Burkina Faso. You know, I like to laugh. It's not because I was taking away from the importance of, the subject matter. I was not taking anything away from that. It's just that I like to, laugh. And knowing Bernard, I didn't think that it was going to cause any pain to my comrade Bernard. And I want to unreservedly on this same platform apologize for reacting to that story in the manner that I did. So Bernard, I apologize. Thank you. Right, so Honorable Lady Husseini is here seated. Good morning to you, sir. How did you manage to get to Accra? You, this man, I think you should be the next, I think they should call you General Mosquito number 2. How did you manage to get to Accra?
I got to Accra the night. From the constituency.
I had zero hope that you're going to be on the show today. Zero.
That by the grace of Allah Almighty.
Right. Someone to your popular. Why? Yesterday I was talking to someone. So, I know that man.
Right, as for women,
Good morning to you, Samuel.
Good morning.
Always looking bright and happy. Except for when Bernard Monnet steps on your tail. Then you want to box him.
What happened to my brother?
Oh yeah. You see, I was going to laugh again, but I have to just.
You want it?
And okay, anyway, Bernard, good morning.
Good morning.
I apologize again. I didn't do it out of malice. I honestly didn't do it out of malice. It was just the way I know you to be, and the fact that Bernard was just lying on the floor helpless.
But
that is why
you know that anytime the security anywhere in the world grabs me, I don't know for whatever reason, maybe I should reduce my height and my physique. They simply don't treat me kindly. In Ghana, you do know how the last time I was arrested at the Kawukudi Park, they treated me like I was a bull, threw me in the bucket of a pickup with a gun on my head, and threatening that even if I touch my phone, they will blow the head out of my head. You can understand the trauma when a gun is on your head and then they tell you that even if you take your phone, they will blow your head. And I had made a call. So I said, lawyer, if you don't hear my voice again, I have been killed. This is what I told Raymond Atuguba. And so I am, as for being attacked in those things, I have. Even in my home, people come and, in my view, they pretend that they are armed robbers because I don't see how, that armed robbers in their rightful mind will be targeting me. What will they come and get in my house? Sometimes I go home and I don't even have something to eat. And then people come to my house and it is not once. And they are saying that they are armed robbers. So certainly, I don't believe that these are armed robbers. But I have taken it in my stride. What was worrying is that this is an invitational tournament. 18 participating teams. Unfortunately for us, we were the only English-speaking team that was in the tournament. We had some difficulties. Indeed, it was the immigration boss that even had to allow some concessions for us to cross Hamley to go to Bobo Dioulasso. When we're going, because I have done sports across the continent a bit, I know the kind of treatment you are given, particularly when you have to face host nations in the games. So I started talking to the team that, look, we can get to Burkina Faso at this late hour, and nobody will attend to us until our game is over, so that we can be more fatigued, and then we cannot play, so they will win over us. So I sacked everybody. Alhaji, we got to Burkina Faso at 1:30 a.m. It took them until around 3 a.m. for them to come and then usher us to where we were going to sleep. From one end to the other, I told my team that, look, we are not going to get any decent place to sleep. So I went back into the bus that we went with, and I slept in the bus. My son slept in the bus. 2 of the coaches slept in the bus with me. When we got up to see where we were going to sleep, Alhaji, even dog will not sleep there. Even dog will not sleep there. And they said, well, this was a temporary holding for us because where we were going to sleep, the person keeping the key was not available. Meanwhile, you had invited us to the tournament. When that happened, morning, our ladies went to play. In their fatigue, Alhaji, they exhibited a lot of skill because we already had told them that this is the strategy they were going to use. So we won our set by 2 sets. The only person who speaks French amongst us started telling us that they are saying that if this is how the Ghanaian team is playing, the ladies are playing, then the men will be something else. And so we should watch out. They will employ every other strategy to get us out of the tournament. In the afternoon, we were supposed to play. They shifted our game to the next day so we can play 2 matches. The next day, they were supposed to come and convey the team from the plane, from the place of residence to the field at 6 a.m. They didn't come. I was not staying with the team any longer. So I got to the stadium at 6:49. And my team said they had been walking for the past 1 hour from their hotel to come to the stadium. Because no bus had come there. Yes. And when I got there, the opponent or opposing team had already warmed up and they were ready to pass over the points to the team because my team had not come. Alhaji, you are the leader of the team. You keep quiet. So I started protesting that we are in the country and you are aware. You promised that you pick my team up. At 6 o'clock, you were supposed to pick them. The bus is not there. My team is working and coming here, and you just want to pass the points to the other team because they are not on court. It will not happen here. So I started my protest there. Then 3 of my players who were fast enough, they got to the park. I said, just change and come and stand on the court. Before the others came and joined. When the game started, I said, people serve. You serve ball, and they said that is a foul. What angered me was, in volleyball, 2 referees, 2 linesmen, they all said a spike from one of our top players was inside, and they gave the point to us, which was going to be 24-21 against the opponent. The recorder simply raised her hand and said that they should take a reserve. You, who is a scorer, now instruct the referees to take a reserve.
The referees who take the decision, not the
Then I said, no, this is not happening.
You just record whatever.
So I walked to her and I said, what kind of stupidity is this? Have you planned that you just want to rob the team or what? And so I even asked the team to walk out of the court. Then the security came and held me by the neck. My coaches pulled me and said I should allow them. They will stand on the court and lose the game. So they lost the game. So after that, I walked to the washroom with my son. We were coming and I saw the commander who held me. And I walked to him and said, Commander, what did I do wrong for you to hold me by the neck? And that was when he just blew his whistle, attracted the other colleagues. Alhaji, when they came, without provocation, they just pulled their pepper spray and started spraying in my eyes. And I do know that pepper spray is used to disperse a crowd. And I was the only one. You were about 7 police people.
That's needless.
And you were spraying throughout. So, Alhaji, I was dazed. The next thing I realized that I was on the ground, and then my hands were being handcuffed. Look at the marks. This was last week, Wednesday. Today is what? Friday. Look at the marks around. Look at the cut around. So they tightened me, and I still feel some pain because if I have to raise my hand like this, because of the way they twisted my hand, put me on the floor. So my son got closer, and then they pumped the pepper spray. So he ran out and yelled at the Ghanaian team that his father was being attacked. So the video that is in circulation came from my son because he stood there to take a video of whatever was happening. Even that they were chasing him to collect the phone from him. And so, Alhaji, I did no wrong. Later, when the guy who speaks French in our team came and then said that, oh, that's the video. Then they started. This is a Ghanaian. That is one Ghanaian official. He's a prison officer we took there. So he walked to them, the one in charge. He walked to them and said, this is the leader of the Ghanaian delegation you are treating that way. That's me. So I had to raise my head and ask them, is it that I've done something wrong or you are doing this under the influence of somebody? But if it is for somebody's influence, let the person know that even in death, I'll still struggle for justice for the people that I brought here. And at the end of the day, it took them about 30 minutes to come and remove the handcuffs from me. Later, the police commander, the foreign affairs minister, everybody was now calling me And my kid brother in the university, Adam Rahman, apparently is the acting ambassador in Burkina Faso from Tamale. So he then called me to say, Bernard, I've seen this video. And I said, yes, that is me. He said, but he's the acting ambassador in Burkina Faso. He will not allow this to happen. And I said, I know you are in Ouagadougou. And this tournament is taking place in Bobo Dioulasso. So then he sent his people to come and do the investigation. At the end of the day, it was proved that I did nothing wrong to the police. They were just overzealous and decided to take me on in the manner they have taken me. Alhaji, when I have gone through this pain, as I said, I am not worthy. It is body injury that you have caused me. But two things happened after this. After this incident, then everybody started coming to me to plead. I got there, somebody gave me the bench to use. Somebody accommodated me in a 4-bedroom house with the team that I have. So me, I was having my own room. The team. So my team was somewhere. And people that I know. So when they also heard this, and they were Burkinabes, they got alarmed and wanted to come to the place to come in. I said, no, this is not an issue. Leave it. I didn't come here for a political issue. I don't want politics to be involved in this matter. I came here on sports and I just wanted to end there. But you see, at the end of the day when they came to talk to me with the officer who led the assault, I said, officer, you have been doing this to people. It means that anytime somebody just come closer, you pump tear gas, you beat the person. Unfortunately, today you have beaten somebody that you cannot contain. And so you have to be careful, particularly when I was not speaking French and I was speaking English. It should tell you that I am not of you. So you should exercise some circumspection in the manner you are going to treat me. Fortunately, our male team was kicked out of the tournament at the group stages. Our female team excelled all the way to the finals. We won the final against the Malians. We swept almost every award that goes with it, the best attacker, the best player, the best setter. We swept almost but 2. And after that incident, as I said, every time or any time the Ghanaian contingent was anywhere, then you saw that there was maximum security to cater for our interests.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that irrespective of what happened to me there, and I have told the ambassador in Burkina Faso, so I said, whatever you people want to take with the issue, take it. But I have forgiven the officer. I have also forgiven the organizers for looking on for the treatment that they meted out on me. But they should be assured that any day, any time I'm somewhere, and there is injustice meted out on any team, you want to cheat somebody, I will not stay it. Alhaji, as I speak to you, I don't know anybody from Western Sahara. I have taken the issue of Western Sahara to the African Court on Human and People's Rights. And Kwame, you are aware, I know no one person there. Nobody from Western Sahara has even called me. I'm spending money in order to fight for justice for their independence. The case hearing will be on the 10th and 11th of this month. Why am I doing this? I have been struggling for the people of Togo. Do I have any relative in Togo? I've been struggling because I perceive injustice to be occasioning in other places. So I cannot lead a team where that team is being cheated. And at the end of the day, when we're playing the finals, it was not even my club. It was Ghana versus Mali. So the name of Ghana was at stake in this tournament. And then people expected me to keep quiet. No, I will not do that.
Right.
I prefer to have even died in the cause of struggling for the justice for my people than to keep quiet over the injustice that was being perpetuated against my team.
Thank you, Bernard Bona, for the expansive explanation. And perhaps a word or two from Honorable Ebi Husseini and then Sabo, and then we can proceed.
Oh, I just want to express my commiserations with Comrade Bernard Bona for what he went through. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Because I know that as Kwame, as host, if you invite people to a program, you have a bounden duty to take care of their welfare. After their safety, you have a duty to guarantee their safety. And so if you yourself, under your watch, inflict any harm or injury on your guest, I think it's a shame.
Right.
We Africans are known for hospitality. And so, especially Burkinabes. Kwame, you know the meaning of Burkinabe?
No, what is the meaning?
It's from the word Brichina.
Oh, Brichna.
So when we say the Brichna people of integrity.
I see.
That's the Dagomba Mole Dagbani since Brichna.
I see.
So that should be it. And it's on Brichna to inflict injury and damage and treat in a shabby manner your guest. It's not.
Yeah.
Kwame, I can tell you that one of the most hospitable people on the face of this earth are the people from the north generally, and Dagombes in particular. Kwame, when you even visit somebody, sometimes they can even give you everything. They will leave their room, give everything to you, and maybe except his wife.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for you to treat guests like this, I think that is a sad commentary.
Thank you, Sabo. Briefly.
Let me take the opportunity to greet my Brichina Honorable people. Kwame, we had a very successful rounds in the constituency. I went to thank them for the yeoman's job that they did. I've not finished. There are a number of areas I still have to go.
Okay.
The constituency is big. So I'll still be coming around. I'm just indicating to those who are here to see me that we have not ended it. We are coming.
Fantastic.
And I want to thank them hippopotamously. I'm quantifying the
Elephantastically.
No, I'm allergic to it. Kwame, for the good work that they have done to ensure that things go well. But Comrade Benomona, take it. I like the spirit. I just want to say that when it was said here, I'm sure sometimes in the heat of the distance, you may just out of
this is not the Burkina Faso Thomas Sankara brought together. You do know that, and that, as you rightly said, Burkina Faso stands for upright people. Okay, and so for Sankara, that is one of the major icons of Pan-Africanism.
Oh, his picture is not here.
You understand? Oh. For his country, I mean, I am an avid believer in the ideals
one of my mentors. I love him so much.
Thomas Sankara. And then you get to his country, and then this is what is happening.
It's Ambrichina.
Yeah.
I think so.
So,
Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Let me take the opportunity to say good morning to our cherished viewers.
How did the vetting go?
Oh, inshallah, alhamdulillah. I think
his candidate was kicked out.
The vetting committee, I think all
Sabo is a contender.
All the members, I mean, those who were there, I've worked with them before.
So they know what you can do.
So I don't think they didn't give me any
tough time,
of course. And of course, the documents I put, my CV and everything. I mean, because I work with them, they know my story. They know who I am. So I didn't even take time.
They know you made.
I took less than 5 minutes.
They know you made Nima accessible to the MPP.
No, yes. After Nima, I think even today, if you just walk.
I think the person also said that Sabo was the one who made Nima accessible to MPP.
Yes. I actually made Nima. In fact, initially it was a no-go area for MPP. You cannot even wear MPP shirt in Nima. But in fact, I took it together with some other young guys. Brought Keep Fit. In fact, you'll be surprised. I'm the one who introduced Keep Fit in Greater Accra politics. Before even NDC later on, they also came and they took it.
I think it will be
Nima Keep Fit is stronger than any other constituency.
I think Honorable and Bernard would agree with me that it will be most unfair not to let you win this.
No, I think it
will be most unfair.
To me, where I said the signals are good.
Yeah. So, I think you deserve it. It's not because we are friends, it's because you're capable. Honorable sir.
It is not the aroma of the pudding that matters. It's in the
eating.
Don't listen to him.
Okay, this man, it is not about recognition of work.
As for the work,
he has done it. Don't know deaf. Look at sleep. What happened to him that time? It's not about the merit.
So if you don't go,
the politics on the MPP side is whom you know.
Yeah. But I'm sure this time around they will make good on their promise to.
It's connection. They will make good.
I'm very optimistic.
After the work, they know everybody knows. It's a matter of problem. It's going to happen. But what work he has done. But it's not the work. It's the connection.
Few words to comment, and then we can.
People are not.
Kwame, let me first of all. We were hit with sad news on Tuesday. That is my boss, the mayor of Accra. Lost his wife on Tuesday. And God's willing, Sunday is the final funeral rite with regards to Islamic beliefs at the forecourt of the AMA this Sunday. It will start at 10 a.m. So we are inviting all well wishers And then that same day, I lost another electoral area coordinator. In fact, my boy who was working with me as a PA when I was the regional secretary, the father, he's also a electoral area coordinator in Pig Farm. He also died. In fact, he heard of the death of my boss' wife, and by evening time, he also passed on. We buried him. Tomorrow, too, is the 3 days dua. That's according to the Islamic lesson. You don't understand, but I think my big bro understands the 3 days and the rest. So we are inviting all members and sympathizers to attend.
Kwame,
and let me.
I'll come later.
With the volleyball, I have been a team manager for so many years, and I've even been a Northern Regional team manager. So all the games, there are some I can't play, but there's no game that I don't know the rules and the rest. You see, like he was saying, with the volleyball, the umpire, the one who is standing on top of the table, he is the one in charge of the game.
Absolutely.
Technically, he is the one who say this is wrong, this is right, this is this and that. As for the scorer, they can even call anybody who just know how volleyball is. And even the scorer, yes, maybe he should know how the scores are done. And of course, it will be proved by the umpire. So like he was saying, for the scorer to rather stop and then try to deduct. He was deducting a point.
Yeah.
Yes, to try to deduct a point. That one, I think technically from the word go, they were wrong. They were totally wrong. So I don't see why they should subject him to that kind of inhuman torture. You see, I mean, quite apart from that, what even made me very decent is that it's a nation against nation.
Charlie.
So normally it is not the person that you are attacking, it is the country that you are looking down upon. For me, that is my thinking, and that is my decision. So we should look, and we should see beyond Bernard Mona. But it was Ghana that was there. They were representing Ghana there.
Absolutely.
So the attack on him was an attack on Ghana.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's sort of unfortunate.
Right.
Like he said, the Mosi people, the women, they are our cousins. But we don't know. Sometimes maybe they didn't get yam to eat. Sometimes when they don't get yam to eat, that's how they behave.
Thank you. Honorable, you wanted to make a quick point.
Them to Conville.
Let's make a quick point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we were hit by the tragic news of our brother.
Oh.
Kwame, I was then on the tour when they called me and told me I really was.
Alhaji Kasule, you mean?
Yes. I had to call it off for the rest of that day. Kwame, this man, first and foremost, as a Muslim, may Allah Almighty
be pleased with his soul,
receive his soul and grant him Jannat al-Firdaus. Even though the barrier is yet to be done because it happened outside the country. But this, Kwame, you go and sit with this man. Kwame, if you are there with him for even 4 or 5 hours, you will be laughing throughout all that period. I have never met anybody who is as humorous as Chief Kasule, who is as generous as this man, Kwame. If you go to his house, I mean, of course, me, I'm treated as a family member, so that. But any other person, Kwame, come in there, no, Kwame, he will treat you with such lavishness that you yourself, you'll be amazed. His humanitarian instincts knows no bound.
That's a fact.
And I can say that if they are going to count patriots from Dagbon, nobody can excel him. Nobody can beat him. This is a patriot who has not only created jobs for a large number of youth in the area. I'm sure you are aware that the most popular hotel in
Mariam
is this and employing so many other people. But even that, he had Doha, civil engineering, Kwame, a number of businesses that he gave jobs to countless numbers of people. I can't finish extolling his virtues. He's a great Pan-Africanist and a man of many parts. Kwame, let me just stop here. May Allah Almighty show the way.
Well, thank you very much.
On that, I think I just have a few words to also say. I have known him a little bit. He's been not just a strong pillar of the North, but one of the greatest Nkrumahs that you can find. And on many accounts, we have held unity discussions in his house. And in fact, the first time I got to know him was when the late Sule Garba and others, Justice Seneku, they all had to meet there and invite me so we can come and talk about PNC, CPP, unity. And we got there, and then you will not know that he is the person there. He will make you laugh and laugh. And then talked about his relationship with President Nkrumah, his relationship with President Liman, and therefore he owes his life to the Nkrumah's tradition and all that. He did a good job. Strangely, Alhaji, for the past 2 weeks or so,
you've been trying to reach him.
I've been trying to reach him. And I've been calling him. And I called him a couple of times, and he could not pick. And so, Kwame, you can check my phone, my call log. So you see that I've been calling him. So somehow when it was not going, both lines that I have, I tried WhatsApp and they were not going. I felt a little wheezy. I started feeling some awkwardness. And I do know that he's also close to Dr. Kwame Dufour. And so I even called Dr. Kwabena Dufour, but unfortunately he picked and told me that he was at a certain funeral and that he returned the call after the funeral. Somehow he did not call. So, and because one morning I finished Pan Africa TV and he insisted that I have to come to the house, only for me to get there, and then there was a discussion between me and then Dr. Dufour and himself. And then, so when I got here this morning, Kwame mentioned that Kasule is no more. I'm like, what is this hell that is going on? Because I've been trying to reach him somehow. He's unavailable. He came to mind, and I've been trying for the past 2 weeks. And normally, you know, he stayed in Czech Republic and he speaks their language. So anytime I travel to Czech Republic, he will ask for a certain drink from Czech Republic. That's the only thing that he wants me to bring for him. And so, you know, when you said he has passed on, I said in Czech Republic, and you said no, it's not in Czech Republic. I'm like, may his soul rest in peace. He's a heavy contributor to the advancement of the North. You know, when we talk about Bewa, it simply stands for the Dagbon, Dagaba, Wala. It is, and he has magnified it to understand that we can only pray that his successors will continue the good works that he has done. He has paid his due, and it is important that we continue.
I've simply just missed one prolific viewer of Pan-African television. You always watch my show. Always. In fact, he invited me to his home one morning after the morning show. He asked Mr. Pratt that I want to see this boy. He should come to my house. So I went to his house. The first day I went to his house, he made the wife prepare fufu. Wow. And said, Kwame, eat it all. It's not all you can eat. You know? And then to be honest, I didn't know. It's so funny. I didn't know he had even traveled. Because he asked me to come and see him. And then I couldn't, for some reason I couldn't go. And, you know, and then I was told later. It's actually very sad. I mean, Mr. Almighty. We sat at, you know, as one sitting, and then I knew everything about his life. You know, and how he wants to motivate the young people and all of that. So yeah, may his soul rest in absolute peace. Amen. We need to review the 1992 Constitution. Majority Leader. Tor, Tema Oil Refinery, boiling as workers warn of planned sit-down strike. Daily minimum wage increased to 12.53 Ghana cedis effective June. Government silence on luxury private jet rental extremely shocking. Ablakwa. Dominic Ayine invited by the Supreme Court over his comment. Angola's president apologizes for May 1977 massacre. These are the topics, these are my panelists. The show is about to begin. But guess what? This is Ghana. Watch this. John's tomb. All respect to the dead. I don't disrespect the dead. I respect the dead. But this is Sir John's tomb, and this is Asim Brofo to school. Clap for Ghana. We have done well.
So what is wrong with this?
Clap for.
Have you seen the school?
Clap for Ghana.
You've seen the school.
Yes.
Sir John's tomb.
And you don't find anything wrong with
yes.
Brofo to school.
I don't see
this.
anything
is your country Ghana.
It is not surprising.
Thank you.
I'm sitting
Angola.
I will not allow this. No. In fact, I will talk about this.
But again,
as a Muslim, you don't see anything wrong with this.
This is Ghana. This is Ghana. Let me see again.
If any other
this is Ghana.
I will talk about it.
This is Ghana. St. John's Tomb, Asimbo Fredo School.
This is a school.
By the way, they said COVID-19 is around, so if we're even organizing a funeral, it should be just 25 people, maximum 50. Right? Did you see
the number of
the
president himself was present there? Large crowd of people.
It's unbelievable. But that is Ghana for you.
Lawlessness.
Let's go to the pictures of the campaign. John Dramani Mahama.
The tomb is nice. All right.
And you see.
So that's the reason why.
You see the large crowd. No. You see
what you are saying is shameful.
They have always said. No.
Somebody is allegedly breaking the law. The president should go and break the law.
That is what Jesus Christ said. He who has never sinned should cast the first stone.
So
did you see anybody casting the stone? Did you see anybody casting the stone?
So he should go and be throwing rocks.
Why you are speaking? No.
Gentlemen, we have not started the work.
In fact, we started.
You are going to respond to St. John's.
Yes, St. John's.
But I just wanted to start.
Let me tell you.
Hey, okay.
With regards, like
no, we are coming because so I want let them start the topic. This is what I'll do. When you come to your just and I'll give you the
that's all. Then you say respond to
the
St. John's. That's all.
Before you. But so I'll
use this time. If you decide,
I'll get
no, call it. It will not be fair.
Everybody why are you telling him what to do?
If you give him time, you give me time.
I will give you time. Okay.
I'm going to time myself, and then I'll be the time.
I'm going to time.
All right.
Why should we allow him to
I'm also timing. They are all good to time.
If
you give someone different time to use for a different, I will time it.
Yeah, you don't worry. We'll sort ourselves out. Don't worry. But
you won't allow any discrimination.
Let's go to Angola. Let's go to Angola.
Kwame,
we don't have a problem.
Let me greet our viewers across the continent. Alhaji Abi Hussaini, Sabo Adam, and yourself. And of course, let me say big kudos to the volleyball team that won gold and the many medals that they secured in Bobo Dioulasso. And to tell the men that despite that they did not win, instantly they got 2 international invitations. They got invitation to participate in a tournament in Côte d'Ivoire, and they also got invitation to participate in a tournament in Senegal, because these countries watched their play and they were excited. And as you know, when you go for sports, you are willing to learn strategy and other skills from other people from other countries. And I remember the head of delegation of Senegal came and said he missed the opportunity to take some lessons from the Ghanaian team. Because when he watched our first game and saw the way we were doing the shot on shot, and the way our setters would move from everywhere, go and take a ball from the last angle and just dig it, and then a player can give such an attack. And you will not know which player is actually going to do the attack, because 3 players will all fly at the same time. And then when you think that it is one of the 3, somebody from the back will come and do it. It was amazing, and they wanted to learn. And in view of that, they are being invited. So I want to strengthen them in that regard. Having said that, I like Sabo Sakura this morning. It's a nice Sakura with heavy beard.
Yeah. And you like the tomb too?
I'll get to the tomb. Kwame, first and foremost.
Yes, sir.
And I have said this, and take it, that I am a pure Dagao. And should I ever die, I want to be buried in a karanga. You know karanga? We bury with a mat and a white cloth. And nothing else, not even in a coffin. Because it's not with our tradition to be buried with coffins. So I don't want to be buried in that way. I've also said that should I die, not in Accra, take me to Sankana and go and do that. It is important that we show humility even in death.
He knows that.
It is important that we show humility in death. But what I have seen here is the display of affluence and influence. And that Sir John, by this, will not resurrect to come and perform the role that he used to perform. And I don't know about him. But if the family of Sir John had such resources, I would think that if I were Sir John, or Sir John was to be alive, he would prefer that this school was fixed than for this to be done for him. I am told that prior to Sir John's death, is it the mother died? The sister died.
Yes.
And then he followed. I'm not sure that they all will have the same treatment. It is Sir John, who was one time the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, who was the head of the Forestry Commission, and therefore we have to do this magnificent thing there. It doesn't add up to my beliefs. I respect Sir John. I have worked with him. When he was General Secretary, I was General Secretary. I've traveled with him to Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan, where we had the first political parties forum for West Africa. I've gone to Angola. I've gone to Uganda and many other places with him because we're General Secretaries. And Asiedu Nketia alongside. We played the role that we have to play in order to present a unified Ghana. Anytime we went outside of the country, people saw that we of different political parties could work together and we could sit together and eat together. And that was amazing to many others from the continent because they didn't, in fact, when we got to Abidjan, the opposing political parties could not, look,
understand.
You will not even get closer. When you see this one come and they are going to this angle. And then there they saw us. We will walk together, we'll come inside. When we finish, I will go to Sir John and then Asiedu Nketia and we'll move and we'll go and eat together. You understand? There were instances we even sat in the same vehicle and it was news to them. So I respect the character of Sir John. But what I have seen here, I don't think that it marks the humility and simplicity that leaders must display for our followers to simply live. I don't think so. I will leave it at that because I'm not sure that Sir John did this by himself. But it is those who wanted to honor him who did this at a time when they knew that even the road to Sir John's village was not done. And that 2 days to his funeral, then government had to now start to clear the place to make it more travel because the president was coming. That is not the sign that we should be showing as leading the front for our society. Kwame, having said that, I think that the same humility that I'm talking about is what the Angolan president has displayed. 4 years after I was born, there was an implosion within the same political party, the MPLA. Some group of people decided that they would break away because things were not being done the way they thought, as we are witnessing in some parts of the continent. Because within, some people were eating and others were denied food. And so there was an implosion. They decided to break away. The government at the time took a very draconian measure that ensured that those who decided to break away from the MPLA were considered the most dangerous enemy to the survival of the MPLA. And they decided to treat them with iron-handedness. They massacred, nearly 90,000 people were killed in the course of trying to purge the MPLA of those they call the miscreants and then the breakaway faction. So in 1977, this took place. Today, you have a president that says that the pain that people have gone through since 1977 cannot just be wiped away because we have progressed. It is time for the president to offer a sincere apology so that people's hearts and mind can get settled, that there is a government that has recognized that injustice was perpetuated on our own. And it is important to open a new chapter, a new page, so that we can put the past behind us and read forward. What is more reconciliatory than a president who offers himself to say, on behalf of our nation, on behalf of those who committed these atrocities, let us forgive each other. We'll continue to remind ourselves that this nasty day occurred in our history. But let us forgive each other. Let us heal our wounds. Let us know that we are one nation. We can bond, and that in bonding, we can drive forward. I think that that is the symbolism of the gesture that he made, apologizing to the rest of the nation. And if our leaders can show such humility and dissent and apologize for the crimes even of yesteryears, I'm sure that we'll have peace not only within our various families and what have you, but in the country and the continent. And so I want to salute the Angolan president for this unifying spirit that he has shown. And I do hope that majority of Angolans will also accept this as a genuine call for pacification so that they will be able to move forward.
Brilliant submission. You're still watching the Newspaper Review segment. Let me remind you that we are streaming live on Facebook, and it's very important that you share the feed so others can get the opportunity to watch as well. You're leaving your home must not stop you from watching the morning show. So I want to entreat all of you to share the feed so others can get the opportunity to watch. But, yeah, you want to...
No. You know Daniel Syme.
Former deputy minister.
Yeah, former deputy minister. I think he's watching ABA, so I should greet you.
Okay. Right.
He's my very good brother.
Yeah, and then also, let me remind viewers that you can as well leave your messages underneath the Facebook stream, live Facebook stream, or you can send it to me via Twitter at Kwame Owusu-Danso. I'm also on Instagram at Kwame Owusu-Danso and Facebook at Kwame Owusu-Danso. Also, let me say a big thank you to the regions in the northern part of this nation. Trust me, I'm blown away whenever I hear that the station of choice is Pan African Television. I always get excited because we started this together and you've not let me down. So I always, whenever I get the opportunity, would like to say a big thank you, and to viewers across the Bono region, the Bono Ahafo and all of those places, Western, Volta.
We don't have Bono Ahafo region again.
It's Bono region, right?
We have Bono East and Ahafo.
You see, that's the problem.
This man, he's not current. So
I'm current, though. And then I get confused. I get confused. Right, Sabo.
Yes.
Yeah, let me come to you.
Kwame.
Yes, sir. The Tumbe.
Yes. Definitely. I'll not let it go.
Somebody is not happy with you.
Kwame.
Somebody said because your child has not attended that school.
Let me tell you something. I'm a Muslim. As such, I'm a Sunnist. Today, when I go to Udome, I find it difficult to locate my mother's grave because we don't believe in even putting anything like a mark. And the same that I expect my children to do for me. Just go and bury me and then leave it natural like that. There shouldn't be anything quite like a pillar or those kind of things on it.
No, I've seen it.
But let me tell you, Kwame, this tomb that we are talking about, unless you are able to convince me that is the taxpayers' money that they use. No, please, let me speak. Let me speak. Because, you see, the hypocrisy is too much.
Hey.
Is that the first tomb that has been built in this country?
When Opuri did that,
it's okay. It's okay. It is not the first, so it must continue.
No. Let me come. Yes, let me say
it's not the first, so it must continue. Where is this logic coming from?
Let him make his point, though. Let him advance.
On this note, I'm not your brother.
In this country, are we not here? You see people have built mansions and they are operating a shower business, doing gambling and other things. Do you talk about them? You don't. Couldn't they have used that money to build schools and other things?
You don't talk about them.
A shower business is booming in Accra today. And it is people, very well respected people in society who have provided their buildings for those kind of things.
No, because what do you do about it? My eyes. Because
see, sometimes it's very painful. Let me come. This tomb that is built there, of course, like I've just said, I wouldn't want even a pillar to be put on my grave when I die. Because that is my belief. And I can never impose my belief, thinking, principle on somebody. Provided whatever the person is doing is not infringing on my right. It's not actually eating into any this of me.
Sabo is not qualified to.
Let me come. I'll come. I'll give you an example. You are talking of the road to the place is not done and what and what. Goru, Dr. Hilelima. In fact, when there was even light off this, I think was it Babangida or who came to visit him and was weeping. He went to a former president's home and there was no generator even. In that it was lantern that he lighted. Up to date, go to Goru and see the state of Goru. Former head of state, not even a general secretary. Go to Nkrofo, the first president of the Republic of Ghana, and see the state of Nkrofo, the road leading to Nkrofo. Go to what do you call it, Ekufi. Even what president people promised. Let me come. During his funeral. No. You speak. You see, sometimes what I hate about this kind of this is that I see. Oh, this is the first time this thing is being done, and we have never done this before. And the rest, you could have started with some kind of litany of certain things that is going on in this country that we think that it is high time that we stop. Then people will see the genuineness and the sincerity in what you are saying. But for you to just come and bring the picture and then bring a dilapidated, but this one crazy. They are even happy. What do you call it? They are even lucky that they have built a school for them. A part is even broken. There are people, my brothers and sisters in the north, who are sitting under trees. They have never seen the four corners of a classroom before.
It's incredible.
They have never even seen a building, let alone talk of even part of it falling down.
Okay.
Are you trying to tell me that it is a John who has been, or it is MPP who has been in charge of this country all these years? If you are going to talk of people who have actually deteriorated and have retrogressed the progress of this country in the history of this country, there's no any other group of people you can point at than the NDC, because they have enjoyed power in this country more than any other party in the history of this party, of this country. What have they done about those things? Is it after the death of Sir John that the building was brought to the place there? So one NDC was in power, they should have shown out the state of that building. Maybe because it was not Dekra, it was even under 3.
Kwame.
Quite apart from that,
let me make it point.
When NDC was in power, it's time. Go ahead. Why? If you are not comfortable,
no, because it's time because they are looking at the minister.
No, I don't think it's fair.
No. I use the total minister used to do submission.
But that's what I'm giving to him. I'm giving him the exact same time.
The same 10 minutes. The man has spoken for 11 minutes.
No. You see this kind of thing. When you were even talking, I was putting
Honorable and Bernard.
Why is it pinching you with a grain of respect? Why is it when you let me able to contain it? But when I'm talking,
go ahead. I'm with you, brother. Go ahead.
You come and stand there and be putting these things, and let me tell you, somebody's brother. When I was in Goy, Kwame, I don't know whether you know Goy.
No.
You know Segi?
Yeah, I know Segi. Yeah.
When you get to Segi, you said there's a junction going to the coast.
Yes.
Goy is there. The man who brought Schweppes and the rest. When the mother died, he was a very close friend to Rawlings. Helicopter that brought the corpse from Accra to the place there. Go and see the tomb. Rawlings was the head of state. What did he say? Why didn't he tell him that you could have used this one to build another school? That time we were even looking for library at the school. Why didn't he tell him that you could have used this one to build a library there? The leader of the NDC. Why didn't he advise him that? He was there. He was in the funeral. He saw the tomb and everything. And they even used because the helicopter, he didn't own a helicopter. So it was the taxpayers' money that was used to carry the corpse to the place there. And this one, the family have decided to, what do you call it, bid him a farewell in this manner. Of course, like I said, my belief, of course, I will not sit here. My belief, I don't believe in this. And all my parents, I don't think there's any of my parents who was who has been buried in this manner. And I don't expect my children to ever even do this. Me, I'm saying, they even that, you know, when you go to our cemetery, that kind of pillar that they do. For hours they don't even do that. It's just the sand. You raise the sand. That is all. It is done.
Talk about the crowd.
The beauty of the grave, it's inside, though, not the outside, though.
Talk about the crowd too. Did they observe protocol?
Listen, as for the crowd, I've not had the opportunity to watch. Let me come. I've not had the opportunity to watch the crowd, but nonetheless, this country, excuse me to say, Kwame, today as we speak, me, I don't have sanitizer in my car again. I think it is high time we begin, although I have done the 2 odd, but they are saying that even if you have done it, you still have to protect yourself. Are you getting me? But there is this kind of notion, even those who had just won, they feel like it is over. Kwame, you agree with me, even today, even look at all of us sitting here. But when it came on earlier on, all of us here would have been wearing the nose mask.
Except
me.
Mask.
So it's not all
but
of us.
No. Except me.
So don't say that.
It's not 70%.
Because you know that me from the one I protested.
I think that we should allow someone advance that so that we can.
You see,
otherwise the timing. The timing.
He's
No, but you have the mask. It's because he's drinking coffee. He's drinking coffee.
I only know it when I was taking the tea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Some go ahead.
I only know it when I was taking the tea. Oh, you expect me to take the tea with the mask?
This mask.
You are taking tea.
This mask that is
Sabu. Sabu. He is taking tea.
Gentlemen,
He is taking tea. When tea has cost you elections.
Respectfully.
I understand. Actually, that's funny. When tea has cost.
Actually, that's funny. Actually, that's funny. I got that. I got that.
Will not.
Yeah. You see, I am trying to be as sincere as I can. When you go to my car and I have a pack, the whole pack. Now I buy the box. I buy the box and put it there. It is there. But I'm trying to let you understand how careless we become of late when it comes to observing what do you call it, the observation of the protocol, the safety protocol. How are you getting me? So if indeed, if there were a crowd there and they do not wear masks, of course that is something overboard. But nonetheless, is that the first time? During the rallies, John Dramani Mahama was going around and the rest. Tell me where they were wearing masks.
Now fix the country will not be allowed to demonstrate because COVID is around.
Fix the
country demonstration.
I don't think that was.
Yes.
That was the reason. No. Did you read the police?
No.
Why the police decided not to allow them?
That wasn't the reason.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
Just a small point.
In it. We are aware of what they were trying to do.
What were they trying to do?
I saw somebody from demonstrating.
Alhaji Suraj from Cote d'Ivoire.
The police issued a statement.
Hold on.
In which they indicated
let me just
the reason why they will not.
Let me just do 1 second of your time.
Alhaji Suraj from Cote d'Ivoire is attesting to the fact that he was there. He was a translator when myself, Sir John, Asedu Nketia, we all came there.
Right.
And as I told you, Asedu Nketia has cousins in Cote d'Ivoire. The governor of Bunduku at the time was the direct cousin of Asedu Nketia, and then. So he was also calling Nketia, but they spelled their Nketia with differently. So people are calling to testify.
From Ivory Coast.
So it means you have viewers everywhere.
So Kwame, if there are developmental issues in that particular area as a nation, we should tackle it like the way we've been doing others. But we shouldn't say that because of somebody's funeral, we should take the opportunity to go and then do that particular one. Thank you. To say, then what it means is that I also target a very big man in my area and make sure that he also dies. So that the road.
Oh, you want to say that Sir John was.
No,
you want to say that Sir John was targeted.
The village, the schools in my village should be done.
Right.
I'm just trying to excuse, with all due respect, that we should not be myopic in our.
Hey, your choice of words this.
No. I'm very serious. In our quest to put our country on the right path. How do I get him? Of course, anybody asking for development or a part of the national cake to a particular section of the country is actually doing something good to the country. But the approach is very wrong. The fact that they have done, unless you are able to convince me that it is the taxpayers' money that they have used to do that, then that is where in fact, I will have even taken the crusade. But I mean, why?
All right, thank you, Samuel.
The second also the bear the tomb by home.
It was a bicycle.
Show me. Show me that bicycle.
You to show me that bicycle. Show me say no be a bicycle then tell you.
Wallahi, it's not a bicycle.
Me to wallahi be a bicycle.
That's all. We have nothing to say.
I don't know if you say
I mean, my first prayer.
Ghana is a sweet country.
I was not at Sir John's listen. By many accounts, I was not close to Sir John.
Why?
I was not close to
him.
You
didn't like him?
Kwame, you can't be close to everybody.
Okay.
There are people I honestly, but
you dealt with that
from what I heard from afar. He was a nice gentleman.
Very nice.
Yes, I was neither close to him nor a friend. For instance, I know, that he was one of the very close friends of even our general secretary.
Yeah, very close.
Asedu Nketia.
Very close.
And so many people say nice things about him in his lifetime. And I will not sit here and say anything derogatory. In fact, Kwame, I don't even like discussing the lives of people who have passed to the other world. The only thing that we do to people who are gone is for Allah to have mercy on their souls. And I will pray first and foremost that may the Almighty Allah, may the Almighty, Muslims, they say that it's not a Muslim, so I cannot make that prayer, but I think that Allah has his way of conferring his mercy on people. But Kwame,
yes, my boss.
I also don't want to use my values as a Muslim. As a Muslim, I'm sure Sabo knows how we the Muslims, especially we the Sunnis, they bury you with nothing. Kwame, you come with nothing, you go back with nothing.
You go with nothing.
Because you see, Kwame, sometimes it just makes, that is more commonsensical, let me put it that way. Because Kwame, if you bury somebody with all the best ornaments and what value is that thing to that person? Kwame, if I die and you build an 8-story building and bury me in that 8-story building, and there are people who are homeless in that area who cannot even get a place to lay their head, Kwame, from purely commonsensical argument, does it make sense?
No, please, it doesn't.
Does it make sense? So even sometimes it is not the sentimental reasons, even whether you have or you don't have, but even for the value of that society. You come to a society and maybe the best house or the best structure that you are going to look at is a tomb. What does it say about that society? Come on, let's get real, Sabo. So it will not even be about whether you have the ability to do it or not, but even for the benefit of that even society. Kwame, I was looking at videos and I saw demonstrations, young people and others heaping insults, even on the president. Okay, about the road. I'm sure you saw it.
I've seen it, yeah.
On social media. And you know, Kwame, they started talking about this road long time ago, saying that if that it was not done before, something.
Yeah,
and they were saying it.
They gave an ultimatum.
Okay, so this one is what?
This is pure opportunism.
You see, yeah. So it could be, but because that's what people think they can take advantage of that to get development. I lie.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, because if the president was going to come there, and the president did actually come there, so for them that was an excellent opportunity for a road that has not been done to be done. Yeah, but I have said it time with that number, that even the roads minister Kwame, and I'll stand here and say that he's somebody that I can vouch for, that he has the capacity to do very good work. But unfortunately, the money to do the work is not there. This is a government, Kwame, since after the passage of the budget, Kwame, many sectors today, as I speak to you, are frozen. All that you go, they say no money syndrome. When it comes to the president to fly 34,000 feet,
yes, money syndrome.
In a bed that will greet him, Excellency, you are welcome, lie on me. There's money in an aeroplane flying 34,000 feet, and it's bathing in jacuzzi. He has money. When it comes to a road in a poor area, where you even go for the people to release the money for the roads minister to go and do the roads, there's no money. Kwame. So I see this more as if for nothing. There are many other factors, but even for commonsensical reasons. Common sense. Kwame, and that is why sometimes I get angry when people look at this and say, oh, the black man, our mind is different from white. Because I say that the white man is not created superior by Allah Almighty than the black man. We have sat down in classes, Kwame. We have done courses where we sat down with white people and we beat them in class in their own language. I went to Essex University. We sat down with white people and that's their university, that's their language. We went through courses and we beat some of them. So it is not any inferiority complex. Allah Almighty never made the black man inferior. Never. And I will never any day accept any inferiority. I will not. But when we do certain things, which if a white man sees those kinds of things, I say, this one doesn't make sense. Like look at the plane our president rode to France to go and borrow money. to go and ask that Ghana's debt be forgiven. Kwame, you owe me money, and you are coming to my house to come and borrow money again. Me, I'm using some modest Hyundai. Then you come with the latest Mercedes Benz with a 3-piece suit, with a cigar in your mouth, chomping in the morning. Then you come and tell me who doesn't even have that, I can't even accept that. I should forgive you your debt. Do you think if you go there with your head intact, you are lucky? You have come to insult me. It doesn't make sense. So there are certain things that don't gel. Let's accept them. Kwame, that is how societies make progress. Because you can say that, well, this is our culture. There are certain cultural things, Kwame, which must change. If we cannot adapt to the times and change, Kwame, we will remain backward forever. Society is dynamic. We must change. There are some aspects of our culture that are counterproductive to our development. Let's jettison them. Kwame, you can use billions on a funeral, and the children who are left to go to school, they cannot get somebody to pay their school fees. So you can spend so much millions on a funeral. As soon as everybody, because after the funeral, everybody will go back and mind his business. Then they will leave the family. Sabo lie.
No, that one I agree with you.
How many people will come back? How many people will come back and ask for the child of the man? The small boy who was going to secondary school. How is his fees? How does he even get food to eat? Who looks after him? So if some provision was not made for him by his father, maybe before. So you see that you can sink millions of Ghana cedis, millions of cedis into the thing. When you finish for the fanfare, then the reality strikes in the home. Who takes care of the wife, the children, the other things that is there, and even members of the family. So if it is not productive for us, Sabo, some of those things we should leave them behind. We should reform and do things that are better. Because anybody will tell you that if you look at that school, whether somebody did a similar thing in the past or not, it's not befitting. That is the argument. The argument is not whether somebody did it before.
No, you see the way you explain it.
Yes,
that's the best.
Yes, so I mean that's what I'm indicating to you.
You put just a posting with the school.
Yes, but I'm just indicating to you. Yes, sure, but I'm just saying that yes, that is okay. Exactly. But it tells a very bad story of the area. What everybody sees that.
I agree with you.
So that's why I'm saying that. Yeah. So let us together fight.
Somebody says a very important question on Facebook. The person says, okay. No, you have to address this. You have to. I know I'm truncating your chain of thought, but it's very important. Somebody said, Opuni spent so much millions to bury his mom. The people are still poor in the village.
Yes.
His mom was, where his mom was buried. This is pertinent and not yet.
Kwame.
Yeah.
But we call
it is as bad as...
But the person concluded by saying that it has not helped him.
If that was...
But we all condemned it.
I am saying that if somebody also did...
condemned it.
Exactly. If somebody did that, doesn't make it better.
We didn't spare Opuni when he did that.
Exactly. Me, I would say that if somebody went and exhibited that Kamakura, I would say the same thing I'm saying here. It doesn't help in the development of the country. It doesn't. Because like I said, look, Kwame, before the Allah that we all serve, and before whom we shall all stand on the day of accountability, Kwame, if you spend your money in that way, I am telling you, you will not receive the blessings of the Almighty. If you rather put it, have you seen the school we are seeing?
Yeah.
Or if it happened in some other place,
Kwame,
if you put up a 6 classroom block, Kwame, if that money can put up a 6 classroom block, Kwame, and you put up a 6 classroom block, and somebody sits in it, and tomorrow he becomes somebody, Allah Almighty will bless you. Allah.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's more honor, there's more dignity, there's more blessing in spending that money that way than in the other way you would have spent it. So me, I'm not interested in which personality did what. Whoever did that, for me, fall short of that thing I'm talking about. So I'm not interested in who did what. But the principle of doing that is an issue.
I'm not sure their KVIP is this nice.
So Kwame, that for me, like I said, why were the people complaining? They were even complaining about their road, complaining about and saying all sorts of things. So if that one was even fixed, that is another credit. But Kwame, more importantly, the President of the Republic is the first gentleman of the land. Okay? The President deserves our decorum and respect because he's the first gentleman of that, he's the President of the Republic. Kwame, is the President not the first chief law enforcer?
Yes.
So who is breaking the law now?
Why?
COVID. Kwame, a lot of us, we have had funerals on our hands. We have had even certain things, Kwame, not too long ago. my small daughter in the house, we were going to do the wedding. Kwame, we did the wedding, but I couldn't take more than 25 people.
That's why you didn't invite us.
I couldn't invite me. So we just got Malam and some few people, and they did the thing. And the women were very angry. You know, women, they want to, Sabo, you know our people. They want an opportunity during this to do their own thing.
You say who gave them?
I say my daughter, the latest, the daughter who grew up to me.
Alaji, at your age, you are still doing the thing.
Oh, no, I'm saying not outdoor. I said we are doing wedding.
Is this what you are referring to? That's the
Kwame, just look at this picture.
The video, actually, is a video.
This is a super spreader. Okay? If anybody is afraid... If anybody is afraid,
faces very well.
You don't need to see their faces. Look at.
No, how can you?
Is that social distancing? Is that social distancing? Sabo, is that social distancing?
So this video, look.
Sabo, I just ask you. Can you see social distancing here?
Anybody that has seen the face,
Sabo, it's not about nose mask or not. We are saying that social distancing. Is that social distancing?
Show
me social distancing here.
And what now you are saying social distancing.
Is not one of the.
But you said you are not wearing nose mask, so you should not be talking about nose mask.
Campaign was there social distancing?
So because of that, there should not be social distancing.
I'm just asking.
I'm
just asking you.
You don't know the allegations that the level is wrong.
Because you are only saying that it's wrong.
What they said kills a John.
You see, Kwame.
You don't know what they said kills a John.
You get the president at a ceremony
when I'm there.
This is openly flouted.
I will not, because I have done the 2 days.
Kwame,
I can go closer.
Where is the example?
And who told you that you are free?
Please, I am on. Please. Because our people say that when the elder is in the house, the grain will not be soaked by the rain. That is the wisdom of the elder. He's setting example. Kwame, the president must set a good examples for Ghanaians to emulate. If the president himself is the chief lawbreaker, he himself is breaking the law with impunity.
Was he wearing nose mask?
Go ahead.
Which law did he break?
From what I've seen here.
No, which law did he break?
There are many people who are not even wearing face mask, but let me leave that. The obvious thing here is that there was no social distance.
There was no social distance.
Number 2, the president is not.
The law is that there should not be more than 100. No, he's saying that there should not be more than 100 people at the funeral.
Yeah. He said,
you want the law?
I said, there should not be more than 25. You
want to know which law?
He said 25.
25 people.
25 people. That they should. The president himself broadcast to the nation and told us that nobody should organize funeral of more than 25 people. Look at what he went and did. The president himself,
I stopped chewing the chewing gum.
So Kwame, if the chief himself goes for a weird haircut, you go to a village and the chief cuts punk and the thing is zigzagging like it on his head, what will the young men do?
Thank you very much. Honorable, let's proceed. Let's proceed.
So Kwame,
let's proceed. No, we won't do Kwame, let's proceed.
Not too long ago.
No,
he will do.
Oh, because look,
nationally,
I need to move on because of time.
Okay,
I have a meeting. I have a meeting that I
want to hear him on Angola.
Right.
I want to hear him on Angola.
We need to review.
I want to hear you on Angola.
We need to review 1992 Constitution.
Kwame. Okay.
And hold on. Tall boy. I know Honorable was discussed Dominica so badly. So should we move to Dominica?
Yes, we have the daily minimum wage and then this
I'll
one.
grant you that latitude.
Yes.
So let's first discuss. No, Dominica. I wrote it.
Yes.
Oh, I wrote it. They forgot. No,
he wrote it. He said you mentioned it.
I have already tuned myself. I have done.
And so if you don't want to discuss it, in fact, at his discretion, he has a discretion.
Never run away from.
I agree with Sabu. Just that my attack in Burkina Faso is not written here, but he discussed it.
Yes.
It's not there.
We discuss it. We discuss it. So you are being selective. Sabo, you are wasting time. Let's go ahead.
No.
You didn't discuss it, John.
All you know, you've given me the opportunity to research.
Me, when you research, I don't do any research. When I come here.
Sabo is
when I'm coming here, I don't even know the topics. Ask him. Sabo, I'm telling you.
Don't call me wrong.
In all honesty, when I was coming here, I didn't know anything about what we were going to discuss. I didn't know anything. I'm not privy to any topics.
No, that's what they're not.
No, Kwame, I don't need to.
No.
Sabo, This one, you are telling me that I've given the questions to you.
Oh, yes.
I think
you can see the kind of interest that he has.
So Sabo, you are accusing me of being so stupid that if they don't give me, but that's what you are saying.
You are smart.
No, and I'm so corrupt that I'll give
you for the questions.
Ask
him.
And I'm also very intelligent.
In fact, you were here even before me, and you were privy to the topics. I came a little later than all of you.
Anyway, let's proceed. But we're definitely going to discuss that issue. It's very important. Honorable, they say the daily minimum wage has been increased. It's been increased.
Yeah, Kwame.
To 12 Ghana cedi 53 pesos. Effective today, June 4th. Kwame, yes, sir.
The governments have, and Sabo knows, something we call Bamakaranguma. The person doesn't want to give you the thing. If you force him, he will just do something.
Take it in.
You want to chop, devour the person. Then
now,
you use a pretext.
No, literally, it's like leave me alone.
Yes, take it and leave me alone.
Yeah.
So he doesn't intend to give you that thing, but it's supposed to be seen to have done something. This is the most shameful issue ever in the history of our country. Kwame, do you know the margin of the increase?
Tell me.
From 11.82 to 12.53. Kwame, 71 pesos. Pesos, oh, God of mercy. This is an insult to the working people of this country. It's an insult. In fact, if they had not even increased Kwame, it would have been better. Kwame, look at the situation of this country today. This is perhaps the highest cost of living that Ghanaians have ever gone through. What is the rationale behind the decision to increase the minimum wage? Kwame, it's because the cost of living has reached a certain level where it is only for workers to be able to at least not even live better, but even to attempt to come closer to the reality of life, to raise the minimum wage. And even though the minimum wage is not the standard, it's not that everybody takes the minimum wage, but when the minimum wage is raised, it serves as a barometer for other categories of emoluments to be considered. So anytime minimum wage is raised, Kwame, it serves as an incentive for other strata of society, of the working class, to have some appreciable adjustments in their decision. And Kwame, look at this one. 71 Ghana pesos. Pesos. Kwame, even now, do you see pesos?
No.
Ghana pesos. 71 pesos. Kwame, tell me what it can buy.
Not to be pure.
Pure water you can buy.
You can buy pure water. Pure water is
what can 71 pesos buy? And as usual, Kwame, the first argument you hear is that, yes, we are in COVID. When this government wants to run away from its responsibilities.
12.5. 12.5.
Which one is 12.5?
The minimum wage.
Yeah, 12.53.
Yeah, 12.53.
From 11.82. Our mathematics is better than Jean Mensah and the MPP people. Check.
No wonder
it's 71 pesos.
Yes, you invented a calculator that nobody ever.
You see, so Kwame, it must be commensurate with the kind of cost of living you have here. Kwame, everything in the country today, Kwame, listen to me, Kwame, everything in the country today has gone up. Everything. And I said it, and some people wanted to beat me out. And in the face of these incredible increases, Kwame, look at what is coming out. And like I said, the first convenient argument is that we are in COVID. Kwame, are we not in COVID when the president went and spent how much? 15,000 pounds on a flight to France.
An hour.
Yeah. 15,000 pounds.
2.8 billion.
On a jet flying where you'll be eating in luxury 34,000 feet. Where you'll be enjoying a master bedroom facilities up in the sky 34,000 feet. Where you'll be lying in a jacuzzi in a pool of water with something massaging his back when the aircraft is going.
What thing massaging his back?
Massaging exquisite first class jacuzzi.
Okay.
in the plane. So you see, when it comes to the comfort of the president and his government, they have money. When it is the working class, the ordinary workers of this country, they increase their destiny by pesos.
But they said, do you expect the president to take trotro to France?
Yes, Kwame. No president has ever taken trotro. But we don't expect the president to exhibit such vulgar opulence in the face of the difficulties that the people of this country face. Is it not the same point? Go and read the preface to the MPP manifesto, 2016. He said he had seen the suffering of Ghanaians. If by the grace of God, Ghanaians give him the mandate, he will lead a life of example, of sacrifice. So this one, the opulence is exhibiting 34,000 feet in trips to France and South Africa. That is a sacrifice. Is that the sacrifice? Then when it comes to workers, and workers just want small for them to survive. Kwame, the workers, they are not even looking for a motorbike to ride or even a nice car to ride. Just something that they can survive. No fuel. And they give them fuel local. Yes. They are looking for no fuel. They are giving them fuel local. You get nothing. Kwame. So this for me. And I ask myself, Kwame, in the face of this, where is the leadership of the working class? So is it workers leaders who went and sat down and accepted this shameful thing they call increase? Kwame, the workers of this country must be so angry, especially with their leadership, that they can go and inflict this insult on them. Kwame, this one, if you don't have an increase, is better. Because they will now come to interpret that the minimum wage has been increased. And anybody somewhere who hears that the minimum wage has been increased without interrogating what the increase is, will go away with the impression that they have been charitable to workers. Meanwhile, there's nothing to write home about this shameful increase. So Kwame, I am calling on the working people of this country to rise up, to get up, and especially, first and foremost, clean their own OJAS tables in their house. Kwame, until they get dedicated people who are committed to the welfare of working people, they will go and be cozy with the leadership. Kwame, they will go there, they bring wine as leader, they will drink, eat akukon nine, eat all those things with them, get further, and perhaps even when they go, I don't know whether envelopes and others will not flow, and they forget about the working people. They don't care about the working people, so long as their personal comforts can be guaranteed. And so I want to call on the working people to rise up and get the quality of leadership that they need, that can truly represent their interests. Comrades know that no government or comprador or beneficiary of that system will confer any benefits on you. It has to be wrenched by the working people. Kwame, so I am calling on them to rise up and ensure that this insult that they are. This is counterproductive to productivity. Kwame, part of the reason why the minimum wage is raised to a certain level is to cushion the workers, enable them to come to work and be more productive so that they can produce more wealth for the country. This one, I can tell you, Kwame, workers will be so angry that if they come, they can't even work again. This thing they call minimum wage increase. Workers will be so angry that it will demotivate them to work in this particular environment. So how did we, in arriving at this, was there any, what did they take into consideration? Kwame, as we speak now, just now, lorry fares and others have gone up 20%. Just now. Lorry fares alone, 20%. Fuel prices have gone up. This year alone, fuel prices have gone up 5 times under this government. This year alone. Kwame, today cement, which even last year, even sold up to about 30 cedis. Now cement is now getting to 55 Ghana cedis.
Thank God to get cement. Now we can buy cement small.
Yes, but Kwame, I'm telling you that still the price of cement is very, very high. When I talk to those in the construction industry. Yeah. Okay? Every corn, maize, Kwame, I told you that in 2016, a bag of maize was sold for 70 Ghana cedis. Today, 250.
Yeah.
The other time, we were even quoting. Some people were calling in and giving you figures. Yeah. So look at how everything has shot up in this country. Astronomical increases. Forget about the voodoo statistics this government churns out. Inflation is 10 point something %. It's a joke. A lot of the figures don't reflect the reality on the ground. So you see, Kwame, the working people are the best examples of what they are going through today. And so if this one is pronounced as a minimum wage, how can this poultry, this minuscule amount, motivate any worker to work as a minimum wage? So I can tell you that even the other adjustments that others are going to do based on this one, Kwame, it will be nothing to write home about. So Kwame, rather than seeing this as this announcement, you know what this announcement means?
No.
This is a funeral announcement. It's a funeral instead of a minimum wage announcement. It's a funeral announcement for the working people of this country, aided and condoned by some leadership of working people. Let me take this opportunity to salute one of the gallant, stalwart leaders of the working movement, who unfortunately has not. Abraham Kusi.
Okay.
Comrade Abraham Kusi is one who has always stood for it. That is why the establishment is not comfortable with some of them.
All right.
Because they will champion. I can tell you that you cannot put this kind of proposal before Abraham Kusi and his likes and get away with it. They will throw it away and tell you that they are representing workers whose interest is not this poultry 71 pesos.
All right.
Pesos.
Thank you.
For God's sake.
Honorable.
This is what the TUC and others will bring to workers. Workers must throw this in their...
Are you ready for me?
Workers must throw this in their face when they come and put this in before them.
Sabu, please.
They should not take it.
Kwame.
Yes, my boss.
You see, this is where I always have a problem, especially when the NDC is talking about these issues. The president, Professor Tamils, stroke John Dramani Mahama, presidents for the 80s. How many times did they increase the minimum?
You want it?
Yes.
Yes, you get it.
I was working. I was in class.
You were a teacher?
Yes.
You can get it.
For 3 good years, there was no increment.
It is not true.
Oh, I said bring it.
It is not true.
Prove me wrong.
You say, tell me. You are setting the case. You should start where it was first.
You see, sometimes, you see, you've said so many things. I allow you to just...
Yes, I'm allowing you, but don't perpetrate falsehood.
No. And I said, prove me wrong.
You are wrong.
Yeah. No, we are sitting. Prove me.
You go.
Bring the figures.
Yeah.
For 3 good years, there was no any increment. And what do you call it? Finally, when they were going to increase, I think it was 9 point something %. And there was even a problem with the workers' union with the president. And we dragged it on, and finally they made it 10.5% increment. And since that time, till they exited, there was no any increment again.
It's not true.
At least 2020, we increased, even in the midst of COVID. There was an increase of 11%. And quite apart from that, Kwame, you agree with me, as we sit today, we are not in normal time with regards to the economy. Even for the first time, all budgets of all the various ministries were cut down. True or false? The last time.
Yeah.
Yes, all the budgets, they went down.
You said that of the office of the president.
It's not true. Kwame, again, I can give you Kwame immediately. Kwame, this one, let me correct you. We are talking to people.
Why?
All budgets were not under the Office of Government Machinery went up by more than 600 million.
Okay, let
So
him
it's not
advance
true.
that. I'll grant you
So it's
the
not true.
opportunity. I'll grant you the opportunity. I think
I'm saying that the Office of Government Machinery, that's the President's office.
Go ahead.
They increased the office by 600 million.
What he wants to do is...
It's not correct. In the budget, I sit in Parliament and I know the figures.
Okay, I'll grant you the opportunity to rebut.
Okay.
But let him make his point, please.
In the first place, look, I did not even respond to what he has said. Let me continue with my submission. That has been their strategy. You see, all budgets were cut down. Quite apart from that, Kwame, you agree with me. The rate at which production was done in this country, COVID-19 has come to slow it down. But there's a saying in English. Kwame, I don't know whether you know this saying. It's a popular one. That half a loaf is better than none.
Some half loaves.
During the time of the NDC, people were not even getting work. There was not even employment. Let's to talk of budget, salary increment. At least today, those that they have increased, you are saying how many percent?
71 pesos.
71 no, so in percentage.
71 pesos.
Where you want to play mischief?
6%.
Thank you very much. So 6%, at least the person will expect on 6% to be added to whatever he will be receiving at the end of the month. Is it not far better than the one who will not even expect anything?
If you don't expect anything,
he will not even expect anything. There was no employment. In fact, employment in the public sector was freezed for the whole distance that they were in. It was just when they were about exiting power that they tried to bring people into this thing. So if we are to compare the hardship during your time and today, which one is more harsher? And even in your time, there was no any problem. There was no any disaster. There was no any this thing. It was just sheer incompetence that you subjected Ghanaians to a kind of suffering that they do not deserve. Today, in the midst of all this thing, the government still feel that it is not fair when things are going bad, that the people should just be left like that. So let us just add something to let them know that we still have that consent for them and we share in their pain. I strongly believe it would have been the NDC time. If you don't take that, there will have been for the first time downward review of salaries. That is the kind of method that we have come with. So please, whether you are saying it is 7, and you are even saying that 75 pesos cannot even buy pure water. Which kind of pure water are you talking of?
How much go out and ask for a bottle of pure water.
Is how much? The sachet water.
A bottle? No, workers they don't deserve to drink bottled water.
No. Unless maybe I've forgotten of the currency. 20% and 75. 20 pesos and 75 pesos. Which one is bigger?
Which one pesos?
No. I'm coming. 75 pesos.
A bottle of water.
No. You say pure water.
50 pesos.
It is
pure water.
It is
what is called pure water? Those bottled water.
The sachet water is fast.
That is impure water.
I think it's 50 pesos.
No, it's Piamonco.
20 pesos.
No,
so
you see where you are. So you are so soaked in this propaganda.
The bottled water is not pure water.
That's pure water.
The bottled water is not pure water.
It's pure water.
That one is gutter water. Or you call it what? What are you talking about? Or workers they don't deserve to drink bottled water.
In fact, Kwame,
you see the elitist mentality that is.
Let me tell you, we are talking.
Workers they should drink sachet water.
Please.
And you see what is the thinking they have about workers.
In fact, today in Accra here, immediately you call somebody to buy water and say pure water.
They'll bring a sachet water.
Thank you very much.
That's a fact. That one is a fact.
Unless we say bottled water before they'll bring the bottled water.
Bottled water is
in
not pure
Accra
water.
here, immediately you say pure water is the sachet water.
That one there is.
And you sat and you say pure water. Hey, I'm an Accra man.
That one is not pure water.
And I know you are referring to in fact, I've just gotten a name for it, Pierre Manco.
The bottled water is gutter water.
So you see, so at least that one, yes.
I'm sure he's about
you didn't get it right. Kwame, the other thing that I want to, he was also saying that everything has gone up
except for the height of the president.
But what about his height?
But it's my height. We have not grown.
Did you grow up?
No, I'm not growing. I'm also not growing.
Why did you
my height
you and the president?
Why did you say my height is not going?
But you two didn't go.
But he said he's taller than the president.
The president is taller than him. The president is taller than him.
Come in. We have finished growing. So the height will not go up again. Me myself, I finished growing. But the things are going up.
Kwame.
Some of you are complaining about that. What I've said is it true or not?
No.
Has everything not gone up?
Let me come.
Has everything not gone up?
I want to be reminded during the time of the NDC when things stopped going up, just even for 3 months, that things were at where they were. Even though we're in a normal time, he should tell me. So I don't know when you are talking about this as if it's a strange thing. Of course, we've always had our. Of course, it's most often than not to. In fact, Benamoda made some analysis last year, which I agree with him, that because now we've stopped importing, because of the COVID-19, countries were not allowed to listen. So it gave some kind of power to the city and the rest. Yes, which is an established fact. Am I right? Now we've started buying things and other things. And of course, production too has not yet gone into where it's supposed to be. So definitely there's going to be pressure on the local currency.
Absolutely.
Of which, they are managing it very well. How are you getting me? So definitely you don't expect the city to perform the way it used to perform. Last but not least, because you said I should, yes, that the president travel in
private jet.
The private jet.
Luxurious.
When was the last time a president traveled in trotro or a in what do you call it? The bus that they brought.
Falcon. The one that Kufuor brought.
No. The one Atamis brought. No. Vuitton. When was the last time a president traveled in a Vuitton bus? If you remember, during our campaign 2008, was it 2008? The president wanted to, I think he even entered a trotro, and it was an issue that NDC picked up. That because he wants to be a president, he wants to become a president at all costs. He has even gone to enter trotro when he has never what. And the president that time, they wanted to know the feeling, the environment in the trotro, so that as a president he will know how to address those issues. Today, the president have decided to travel on a presidential distance.
Not a presidential jet. A rented private jet.
No. Yes, a rented private jet. But at the time that he occupied, it becomes a presidential jet. It will give it presidential treatment.
The jet itself
doesn't belong to what I mean is that wherever it is going, the destination, it is going to be given presidential jet treatment.
But we have a presidential jet in this country.
You are not getting mad.
No, I get your point.
Right now, if the president is in this city, the security will not be handled by you again.
Of course.
So it becomes a presidential distance, a security zone.
Yeah.
Temporarily, as at the time he's occupying here, the whole of this place becomes a security zone.
That was a rented jet.
Yeah.
Movement will be restricted in a way. Is that not it?
Yeah.
So definitely once he's occupying.
But do you think it's justifiable enough?
No, let me come.
For the president to go and rent
a
private jet when Kufuor bought the Falcon.
I'm not even the Falcon.
The Falcon, which is operational, which at the time, I'm reliably informed. Somebody
less than 2 years ago.
Let me make this point before you continue. I'm reliably informed that at the time when the president was on his way to France, the Falcon was in Nigeria doing what business in Nigeria. What was the Falcon doing in Nigeria?
Please.
Recently refurbished at great cost to the taxpayer.
Let me come.
Add it.
You see, if you've observed me very well, I don't normally try to talk on issues that I don't know anything about. I have not even heard of any jet in Nigeria.
It was in Nigeria. I'm telling
you. I am responding to a statement that is made here. How are you getting me? If there was a jet in Nigeria, then maybe you have to give me another time to research into it. Then I'll come and respond to whatever you are saying. Not to frank with you, or unless you bring the issue up, then based on what you are saying, then I can respond to it. How are you getting me? But if you tell me, of course, if the jet was in Nigeria, whether it was faulty that it was left in Nigeria, or maybe, of course, it went on a presidential something that went to Nigeria. Of course, the vice president can also use the presidential.
In conclusion.
Other senior official of the presidency can also use the presidential jet.
In conclusion.
How are you getting me? So if the president used the presidential jet, I think what you need to really find out is that, what was the purpose of that travel? Was it a national assignment, or was going to attend a funeral?
All right.
Or he was going for a dinner somewhere,
right?
That kind of thing. Quite apart from that, what this thing has it cost that you think that other or in the what do you call it, in the president's line of duty or the ethics that is within the president's office and the rest, that he has gone overboard, or he's supposed, or something that he's supposed not to have done. He's supposed to have done this and this and that. I think the last time I heard of the presidential jet, that there was a time that he was going to one engine seized.
It was a flying coffee.
So you are in a hurry. You are in a hurry
not
to
this
the
one.
president.
Not this one.
So
please. You have gotten it wrong.
No.
This one has never had that problem.
No.
And I just told you that this.
But this one, are you the one using it?
Where?
No, are you the one using it?
We know the state of it. We're Ghanaians. We know the state of it. We know.
All right.
So Kwame, maybe until even those who handling that particular jet that are referring to, the presidential jet, you don't even know the condition, the state in which it is. They might have even flown it here to Nigeria because it's supposed to be put in order or one or two things. So you don't expect because it's a presidential jet, if they are going to fly, it is the president who pilots the.
They are not servicing the jet in Nigeria.
Bernard, let me come to you on this subject.
They don't service the jet in Nigeria.
Respectfully honorable. Bernard.
It was recently refurbished, less than 2 years ago.
Permit me to
you use it.
Yeah.
To touch briefly on a few topics.
Okay.
And I hope that I can do that within
time.
Well, I mean, if he goes into an area that is response, in fact, don't stop me.
Okay.
No, we still have the last topic, so...
No, he says
we may have the last topic.
In fact...
But I'll grant you latitude to respond to a few things, but
yes.
we may not necessarily discuss the last topic.
Okay, I will have some few things to say.
Kwame, we are talking
But why are you
about...
threatening him?
I'm not threatening him.
Oh, no. You know, Sabo tickles himself and laughs. And as you can see, he's laughing. He knows that when it comes to intimidation, I'm the last person to want to do that too. So,
I'll leave with the Burkina Faso people.
You see why I laughed on the show, but I Bernard got angry? Because I know Bernard Mona, and I know what he may have done there. Anyway, go ahead.
Don't worry.
You will resist these guys.
No, you will go there. And then they will treat you worse than me. But me, I'll sympathize with your situation. I will not laugh at you.
That's okay. You're talking to me, not him.
First yes, sir, is the issue of the luxurious presidential jet. And like Alhaji ABF Husseini, I want to say that our president is the one that we should give all the luxury to on earth, because he's the one foremost person in our country. But in doing so, the president must also appreciate that he's leading a group of, quote, wretched citizens who are struggling daily
Get one square meal.
to get a meal a day. In so doing, the president's modesty must be revealing and must be explicit, so that citizens, even in our endurance, will say that we are not in this alone. The president shares in our difficulty and our plight. Where our president chooses that the comfort
So opulent.
of the presidential jet acquired solely for the purposes and use of the president is not to the standard that he deserves. And he should procure the services of a different jet which has more luxury and more space and all the facilities that will make him the monarch that he wants to be. Citizens have a problem with such attitude. At this time, it is true. And I recall that it was President Mahama who was using the presidential jet, and somewhere in Libya, the presidential jet engine ceased, and he had to make a direct landing in Libya, and then former leader of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, had to order for a jet to fly President Mahama. He was then vice president, to bring him home so that the presidential jet at the time could be fixed and then brought to Ghana. So when you have such happening, why did Ghana then spend so much money to buy a presidential jet for the sole use of the president and nothing else? If it's not the president, it's the vice president. They are the only people who uses the presidential jet, except in some exceptional situation when other persons can use.
Some family and friends
can use. So in such circumstances, it becomes unthinkable that whilst this jet is still in operation, the president will be traveling to France to go and seek for arms, to go and say that forgive us our debts, and that if you go to seek for the forgiveness of your debts, you are going in such a grandeur manner. You can only be Mobutu Sese Seko, who goes to seek for arms, and they said, oh, Mr. President, but your people are poor. They say, no. I'm poorer than my own country. I'm richer than my own country. You recall Mobutu Sese Seko? He went to seek for help. And they said, oh, your country is so broke. He said, no, he is richer than his own country. So in this instance, whilst the president is going to seek for the forgiveness of our debts, the president is far in opulence than the country's resources. It doesn't augur well when you go to seek such. Let us see humility. In any case, nobody is asking the president to go and sit in a public bus. And I'm not sure that any president, apart from Muammar Gaddafi, who used to travel from Libya by route and come to here, and even that, he doesn't sit in a public bus. He uses a convoy of vehicles to be able to traverse that journey to enter into any African country. So no one is expecting President Akufo-Addo to go and sit in a bus to travel to France. But we are saying that modesty must be exhibited by our leaders. And I'm saying that leaders must live simply so that our citizens can simply live. If you don't exhibit those traits, you are not the leader that our society expects. Kwame, I move to the current craze that is going on with justice delivery in this country. Alhaji, and I say this, you see God, when God does something, we criticize God. Not so. When we woke up this morning and were told that Kasule died, even though we know it is God who gives and takes, we are still alarmed that why should God take away such an influential person in our society who contributes to building bridges. And we are asking God, why? We are asking God, oh, Almighty, why? Judges make pronouncements and make judgments. And we are stopped from making comments even after the judgments have made. The judges have become bigger than God. And when we make those pronouncements, we are called to come and say, why are you making pronouncements after we have passed judgment? And so where are we? So all of a sudden, these judges that Alhaji, we sat in the same class room with, and sometimes they are not even better than us when we are in the classroom in terms of cognitive understandings of issues. By some privilege, they have moved to become lawyers and then appointed as judges. So they want to say that they know everything and that we cannot critique the work that they have done. Even the judges themselves, in admitting that they don't know everything, that is why even the Supreme Court, they have authority to review their own decisions.
Yes.
Why do you review your own decisions? Because you could have made a decision that is not the best. And you can sit down and say, no, this decision we took, let us review it to see whether we did it right. So why are we prevented now from critiquing the work of justices? We must know that where we are treading, we are on a very slippery lane. And anyone can slide into the mud. So we should be careful about the kind of things. And I'm happy that civil society had been issued when this letter was issued by the Judicial Secretary, have come up and they are saying that no, this is not the way we should practice our democracy, and this is not the way our judicial system should be operated. Kwame, now to the issue of minimum wage. I am happy. Let me start from that positive note. That, as Sabo said, half a loaf is better than no.
Some half loaves are not better than anything.
Let me glorify my own half a loaf. But when that half a loaf is maggot infested, it cannot be better than no.
So how can it be? In fact, it's not maggot, cockroach, millipede infested.
I didn't say those things.
71%.
When that half a loaf, Kwame, you see Gogomi coming out. Is no bread better, not better than that half a loaf?
Yeah. Because if you chop it, it will kill you.
And I'm saying this, cognizant of the fact that as we speak, transport fares have gone up by over 13%.
20.
13.
As we speak, electricity prices have gone up. And we are told that whilst we enjoyed free electricity under COVID, it was not free to the treasury. Kojo upon economics. It was not free to the treasury. And in order that, because it was not free to the treasury, we must even be taxed more. So we are paying COVID tax in order to pay for the unfree treasury money that was given to us.
You are paying
you understand?
Bola tax.
So we are paying that at a time when you have just increased minimum wage by 71 pesos. At the same time, fuel prices have gone up. At the same time, water prices have gone up. At the same time, building material prices have gone up.
Cost of living.
At this same time, water prices have gone up. In fact, there is no water in many communities. At this same time, talking, we have increased talk time. When you have to talk on phone, talk tax has also come in. So, you see the maggots that I'm talking about. The maggots are the other taxes that you have put in place that has come to erode whatever increases you would have even put across. Alhaji, you people start in parliament and they brought the personal income tax threshold. And you know that the tax-free amount per month is 319 cedis. Not so, 319 cedis. This new minimum wage that they have brought, if you multiply 12.53 times 30, you are getting 375.90. So what it means is that your minimum wage that you have brought, even below, a portion of it will be taxed. And it is not up to 380 cedis. You understand? So you will still pay 5% on the next 100. And so people with less than 380 Ghana cedis per month, and I know where Kwame sometimes eats lunch, that amount is not equal to one plate.
I'm suggesting that Kwame eats lunch at a place.
Yes, some of the places that I know Kwame goes to. 380 cedis is not equal to one plate.
Hey, but this one, you are placing me within the remit of the highfalutin class.
30 bourgeois.
Please, I'm not within that remit of highfalutin. Well, I eat in Honorable Biafusede's home. So,
so here is where you eat.
so Alhaji, that is where we are. But this figure should tell you the misery, the level of deprivation, not only on the individual, but also even on our nation. Reason for which president has to travel all the way to France,
170 million,
to go and plead that they should forgive us our debts. Even in going to seek the forgiveness of our debt, the president was in high spirit. He has to be popping champagne in a plane.
Honorable said he was getting massage. I don't know.
You understand? Yes. so that this will happen. So I feel terribly terrified that this is the way we have to go. Look, when you see that things are tough,
comfort that
you, the leader, must show that things are tough.
Incredible.
You understand?
Yeah.
And that is what, when you go to Magufuli's country, when he agreed that things were tough.
Tanzania.
Former president, I think.
Yes, former president. When he said things were tough, he, the president, himself refused to fly first class. As president,
that is commercial flight.
Yes, he decided to fly on economy. And therefore, every other person in his government will have to fly for economy. He was going to the UN for a program, and he took only his minister for foreign affairs and his secretary. 3 of them. At that time, we had carried everybody, including CEOs, including Gabi Ochiridaku,
including food soldiers.
We had carried them to a program even at a time when we claimed that things were tough for us.
Food soldiers.
The presidential entourage to the UN was so humongous.
Big.
They went there to festoon themselves.
To do what?
Festoon.
Festival.
You understand? So if this is the show that the president wants to exhibit, at a time that we are complaining that things are tough, our minimum wage is such that when you take your minimum wage, you cannot go home with it. People are no more talking about minimum wages across the country. You know that?
Tell me. Why?
Across the world. They are talking about living wage.
Living wage, yeah.
Yes, living.
That's true.
They are no more talking about minimum wage. They are looking at the daily expenditures of each individual and each household.
That's a fact.
And governments are beginning to give living wages to their people so that they will be able to live. We are still talking about minimum wage at a time when our officials are living above normal. This is not the kind of leadership that we expect in our nation. Alhaji, by the way, one of the best students...
But this one too, if you are, before you blame the... before you drive away the Hana, you should also blame the goat. Where is the role of organized labor? Where are they leaders?
Alhaji, I leave that one to you to discuss. But Edward Akwa says that he just, as they will say in Ghanaian language, he feels you keke. That I should tell you that.
Bless you.
So, you may want to respond to a few. I'll come to you. I'll end with you actually. Okay. You see, you may want to respond to a few.
End with him when I am the one who ended.
Sorry, I'll end with you. You see, the thing is that all I stop so I also like to end with you.
The accounts have a saying.
Then we have just finished speaking.
that Akukosta trap for man.
And then the fair. Like what Muhammad said in
our volleyball play, they will say, Eba na eba, eba, ha ha.
Like what say this? Like what Muhammad said in Kumasi.
Sabu, you are the one who
said he said.
Oh, you remember what that was doing that?
I can't take his own medicine. Remember what Muhammad said.
He said the exact same thing.
You are giving him a
said the exact same thing.
You cannot say it exactly like
his own medicine. He can't take it.
Politics. Oh no.
You know. And the same accounts, they have another saying, proverb. That say
he said the Guma, I expect him to be speaking more.
The
Bani proverbs.
I can't remember. Yes.
Yellow Dagbal Baka Dagbamu Bagu.
I don't know, but always I've been using.
I don't know the deal can most mark on Kodri.
Kwame,
the same cup.
Bernard Mona was talking about maggot infested half bread. Isn't it? Definitely.
And you are enthused about it, eh?
Yes. No, I'm coming.
No, come.
Definitely.
I don't know the kind of coming you refer to.
I hope you know hallucination. Yes.
Bernard is hallucinating?
Oh, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised.
He's in a deja vu.
Because the point is, we are talking of realistic issues that at a point in time a president or a government in place deny the citizens of something that was due them. We worked continuously for 3 good years and there was no increment in our wages and salaries. In fact, when this government came to power...
This is a rehash of what you said initially.
No, I'm coming.
Go ahead.
Your maggot infested this and that I'm referring to.
Okay. But what you are saying is a rehash of what you've already presented.
Please. I
don't know where you are and you are coming.
You see what they normally do to what they call distract me?
I don't know where you are and you are coming.
You see, if you sit here and say that with the taxes and what have you has actually spoiled the beauty of whatever the president might have done by way of increasing wages and salaries vis-a-vis when John Dramani could not do so. You've forgotten the same president. When he came, he eliminated some nuisance taxes and also cut down some other taxes and the rest.
Kwame. He eliminated nuisance taxes
just oppose those taxes. Just oppose those taxes to the one that we are referring to. That
no, the president eliminated nuisance taxes
and then look at the quantum of money that is involved in these taxes.
COVID tax,
and tell
very
me
bogus.
Whether indeed
doesn't make any economic and social sense.
They have, of course. Go ahead. I agree. You know, there's one thing: you can beat a child. How do I get him? But you can never stop him from crying. So understand what Bernard Mona is doing.
He wants the child to cry. That's why he's beating the child
to cry.
No, I thought you are crying because I made my point and you cried.
Go on. Kwame, yes. So in a nutshell,
keep crying.
What I want Bernard to understand is that at least if the president of the day, because you are also an alternative government, how do I get to me? If the president of the day is able to do something that actually, what we call it, add to the well-being of the worker, of the Ghanaian worker, though not enough, don't take away this from the president.
Not enough.
Because, of course, definitely, I don't think this is what Ghanaians were expecting. And you also agree with me that we are not in normal times. We are not actually
for you to be flying presidential jet,
the economy as it's supposed to. Tell me that
let's allow South.
And this is not only Ghana; it is the whole world. In fact, every country have had problem with their GDP. In fact, Almighty China recently when they showed their GDP because of COVID. Listen, I think we saw it.
But you know, if you say this, sometimes I have, because if we do comparisons, we know that the reliefs and the incentives which have been provided for some of the citizens in some other countries. So that's why I don't like to put parity on this one.
I am talking of production, but don't forget we don't run the same government system.
They say you should close.
The system of governance is different from all the other countries. Yeah. But when it comes to production, of course, it is almost the same system that we apply. Okay. So what I'm trying
to
in conclusion, what I want to understand is that whether it is maggots infested or not, at least we were able to do something about for the workers.
Thank you very much, Sabu. Yeah. Let me remind viewers that let me say this. Gentlemen, respectfully. Let me remind the viewers of Pan-African Television that this Saturday, the campus store, Obasima campus store, begins at UPSA Graduate School, room GH9 at exactly 11 a.m.
The best school.
The best school.
I'm telling you.
UPSA.
UPSA. Okay. Ghana, just mention a school that can be compared to UPSA.
Okay. Right.
I'm telling you.
That's Sabo's opinion.
Sankara JSS.
This Sankara JSS. Hold on. Long-forgotten school. Hold on. Let me just say this. School of Aka. I accept that. No problem.
You are mentioning schools. I'm telling
you. It begins with UPSA. On Saturday, the 5th
we are talking about
June,
JSS,
which is tomorrow, actually, 11 a.m. And it's in collaboration with Guinness Ghana. So this year's Obasima Summit is going to be very, very, very wonderful. I'm told
how can you bring ABA Fuseni to a Guinness program?
No. We are not taking. Oh no, you see, you don't get it. Bakiza called ABA Fuseni because they want to go and pay, some of the politicians a nice kesiko, and then ask them to support the.
You say who called?
And then I'm not the one.
You say who?
But you need to make sure all this is done under the able leadership of the dean of the graduate school.
Of course, Dr. Kokumauto.
I'm telling you.
Thank you, Dr. Kokumauto.
Yeah, that way Sabo is doing his program.
That's none of your business.
I'm done with first class.
Now I just want to know whether
let me say this.
In the graduate.
Let me say this. Obasima Summit is happening. And then also, let me remind the viewers that the book Fight Back is still, I think we have just about 50 copies left, I believe, but 500 copies nationwide. So if you want a copy, just call 0240-748782, 0240-748782, and then we will send you a copy wherever you are. Just make sure you either send a text message, a WhatsApp message, or call this number, and then we'll make sure the book is delivered to you. Honorable, let me end the show with you.
Okay, Kwame, thank you very much.
What will I be doing?
Kwame, 2 quick points. Kwame, 2 quick points.
Just 2, please.
No points before I Sabo talked about.
I've exceeded my time.
Government's commitment to that. And let me be fair and mention President Kufuor for starting something. But it was under the government of President Mills Mahama that the single spine. Kwame, you remember the single spine?
I remember that was implemented
to boost workers and give them towards this living wage that we are talking about. That is the single biggest commitment government has ever shown to the well-being of working people in this country.
Yeah.
That's under
my father benefited.
That's the aegis of the NDC. In fact, I can remember the policemen on the street, on the policemen and security people, they on the street celebrating.
What?
When they took Sigrid Spine.
Yeah, that's true.
Sigrid Spine haven't forgotten. Hey, Shabo, you have not done anything. This was 71%. Don't talk about it.
Your misunderstanding.
What we can do in response under Nana Akufo-Addo is to give 71%.
You made police people.
This is a huge joke.
All right,
now let me go.
Yeah. You remember the consent teachers issue with the police?
He said that everything. He said that they have cut budgets. The Office of Government Machinery has gone up by more than 600 million Ghana cedis. 600 million Ghana cedis. Office of Government. That's the president's office. Hey. For at the time when you are checking, people must sacrifice. In fact, your budget is going by more than. I said this is in the budget. I'm telling you.
No.
I'm showing you where the thing is.
Bring the figures.
I'm showing you where the thing is.
Bring the figures.
If you say it's wrong, go through there and tell me that it's wrong. Kwame, but let me come.
All right.
Kwame, it was John Locke, the political philosophers,
yes,
and others who says that the greatest threat to the freedom and democracy of the people is when unelected, unaccountable institutions assume monarchical tendencies and want to behave as demigods, and you serve the sovereignty of the people. Kwame, it is important for all of us in our democracy to recognize that no matter how powerful you are accountable to the people. No matter how powerful you are, you must listen to the voice of the people. No matter how powerful you think you are, the people have a right to critique your performance. Kwame, the judiciary is not a demigod institution where nobody can touch them. Let me say that in clear language. They are a creature of the Constitution, and they are subject to the will of the people of this country. Yes, Kwame, it is true that when matters are before them, as part of the decision, they have certain powers they can exercise. But who says that the judiciary cannot be criticized? Kwame, they are, like I said, the judiciary is not God.
They should call this number for me. I want to interview.
Okay? Kwame, let me make it clear. The judiciary is not God. It's not Allah Almighty. That is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, the most gracious, the most merciful. They are not. They are nowhere even near that. It's a creature of the Constitution, and it's an organ of state. Even the president of the republic is subject to criticism. And like Bernard even said, because of the thing that there could be human beings are fallible and they can make mistakes, there's even provision in their own decision for a review. So who says that if they make judgment, nobody can comment on it? And so you have Honorable Dr. Ayedi making a pronouncement.
What did he say?
Yes, what did he even say? Kwame, the unanimous thing they talk about, was it true or false? Was there no unanimous pronouncement on anything that he said? Is it not true?
He said that there was no independence of the judiciary.
Kwame, and Kwame, in your own language, you all know, even if they put 5 lawyers together and they put a matter, you all have differences of opinion. Is that not the case? Is that not why sometimes you have even differences in the rulings of judges and others, and they make pronouncement? So if you have gone and you have made 7-0 or 9-0 constantly pronouncement, and somebody says this is what happened, what has he said wrong? So Kwame, I am saying that after the thing has been done, Ghanaians have a right to do a critique.
2 minutes time.
And I'm happy that in social media, lawyers and others have spoken about this. You see, and it is clear, Kwame, to all Ghanaians.
Go ahead.
Kwame, hey, there's some kukurudu, something.
It's about to rain.
Kukurudu.
It's Kukurudu rain.
Kukurudu.
Finally, Akufo-Addo's
if you see shaking, I'm saying kukurudu.
But this year is not here.
Kwame,
Yeah.
so I want to say without any iota of doubt, and this was done in a very civil manner, without rancor, without insults, but a critique, and a critique of decisions of the judiciary is a right for Ghanaians. So Kwame, I see this within the context of a frightening specter of a culture of silence. That Kwame, if we are not careful,
all right,
very soon all of us will be petrified into inaction, so that nobody can speak again about anything that we think is wrong.
All right, well, thank you.
If we think there's anything wrong in Parliament, Kwame, People have insulted, people have critiqued Parliament in certain things that we have done. Kwame, have you been here when people have even said things here?
And maybe you've seen it.
For which I almost even wept.
Yeah, John 11:35.
In Parliament, it's your right as Ghanaians to critique our work as members of Parliament.
Yeah.
You can critique the work of the executive.
Absolutely.
But who says that you cannot critique the work of the judiciary?
Right. Okay. Thank you.
It's not too long ago that when this issue about judges even taking goats and sheep and other things and allegedly taking the Chief Justice herself, the former Chief Justice, Georgina Wood, had to accept and take certain steps to peg the judiciary of this.
All right, thank you, Honorable.
So why should anybody want to petrify people because the certain things have been done?
There's a man who wants the president impeached, has sent a petition to Parliament, brought us a copy, took some copies to some other media houses. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Right. I just want us to have this conversation. Why do you want the president impeached? I just want to understand that.
Not only the president, but the president and his vice president.
Can you lower the volume on your TV set? I'm getting serious feedback.
Yeah, okay. Is it okay?
I'm getting feedback, please. Why do you want lower the volume on your TV set and tell me why you want the president impeached?
It's not just the president I want him to be impeached, but I want the president and the vice president to be impeached because they both sworn their oath to uphold the sovereignty and integrity.
Can you please
What?
Lower the volume on your TV set. I'm getting feedback. Put it off. We want to listen to you clearly.
Okay, let me put it off.
The man instead doesn't have the confidence to talk. We are forcing him to talk.
Please, don't say I don't have the confidence. Please, don't talk like that. Man must think before talking.
No.
Just talk.
No. Yeah, proceed. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I'm saying it is not just the president I want him to be impeached. I want the president and the vice president to be impeached because they breached their oath, their sworn oath to uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana. And apart from that, I want the removal. Okay, let me stop there because you're talking about this. Yeah, I'm listening to
you. I'm getting serious feedback. Well, thank you. I mean, I wanted to have this conversation with you, but it appears you are not ready to have this conversation because I'm getting serious. I've asked you to put off your TV because I want to hear you. We have to understand why you brought us the letter for the president to be impeached. But it appears that you are not ready to have this conversation. You are listening to yourself. Thank you, Honorable Ibusini. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Benamona. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Every day he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, gets back home, and helps his mom. Phew. That's why every day he needs his cup of Milo filled with the nutritious goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa. Milo, the energy to go further.
From Nestle.
This advert is FDA approved. Every day he has a drink filled with malt. Every day he has a drink filled with malt and milk. Every day he has a drink filled with malt, milk, and cocoa. Every day he needs the nutritious goodness of Milo. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
This used to happen to me some time past. Every roofing I made couldn't last for long and were very bad until I was introduced to Benloy Roofing and Construction, which made me one of the best constructions in the country. Fellow contractors and homeowners, thinking of your next project? Think Benloy Roofing. Benloy Roofing deals in high quality materials and are very conducive to the African market. Locate Benloy Roofing and Construction in Accra and in Techiman. Call the following numbers on your screen. Benloy Roofing and Construction, always on top.
Hello there, it's Obasuma Summit season again. Hello there, it's Obasuma Summit season again. It's that time of the year when all of us as women meet in our created safe space, women of all ages, of all backgrounds, to have those conversations that we need to move us forward collectively. 2019, our theme was Empowered for Continuity. This year, in collaboration with Guinness Ghana, our theme is the progressive portrayal of women. And this year, we start the conversations from our campuses. UPSA, are you ready? Because you are our first stop for the University of Ghana, KNUST, the Ghana Institute of Journalism,
University of Development Studies.
So get ready for us. I will not be coming alone. I will be coming with Nash Okor. I will be coming with Caroline Simpson. And we will strategize for the big summit later in June this year. Whatever you do this Saturday, the 5th of June, do not miss Obasuma Summit Campus Store at the UPSA. I really, truly want to see you there. See you.
Truly African.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the couch with me, Amma Pratt. It's a Wednesday evening, and although normally what we do on Wednesdays, would be the book review, today we are going to be having a conversation on the ministerial vetting that is ongoing. A lot of issues have come up with this present ministerial vetting that demands, questions and answers in equal measure. For instance, my biggest question has to do with this thing about secret voting, the constitutional as well as conventional activity of parliamentarians voting secretly on the floor of parliament. And if indeed this constitutional requirement serves our interests because of what has happened, and here I'm speaking specifically about Madam Mavis Howard-Koomson, the Honorable Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, and also Mr. Owusu Akoto-Afriyie. These three ministerial nominees, well, presently ministers, because they've been approved, and all the issues that have come up from their vetting and subsequent approval. I am honored to have been joined in the studio this evening by the Honorable Alhassan S. Suhuyini, MP for Tamale North. We all know him and how active he has been in the ministerial vetting process, not just this one, even the one before. And so when we have issues like this, also because it pertains directly to the minority side in Parliament, who else but the Honorable Alhassan Suhuyini. Thank you so much, sir, for making time to be here.
As if I had a choice. It's a pleasure to be here, Ma. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for not having a choice. We like the fact that you do not have a choice. Honorable, straight away, because we haven't really adhere to time. I want us to dig straight into the conversation. Let's talk about the importance of the vetting process itself, right? How important is this process? If all we are doing, and correct me, if all we are doing is going through their CVs, you know, and asking mundane questions about the process we already know about, and, you know, not asking the tough questions. You know, how important is that vetting process itself? Is it really important? Is it just another rubber stamp process that camouflage? We just do that as a constitution. I mean, does it serve any real meaningful?
Yes, let me say good evening to our viewers, both on television and online. And first of all, I will want to send an unqualified apology to all people of Ghana, and especially lovers of democracy, who had high hopes and expectations of especially the minority side, given maybe how well researched our questions were during the vetting process. And I'm sure that gave them the reason to be hopeful that for the first time this vetting process was going to end in a very meaningful way, and also perhaps disabuse the minds of people who have held always that Parliament is a rubber stamp. Right. Especially because this particular Parliament turned out to be a hang one, and people had a lot of expectations of us to demonstrate that the numbers given, you know, could lead to a situation where the minority no longer will just have its say for the majority to have its way. And the people who had those high hopes and expectations couldn't have been wrong. Perhaps some of us may have underestimated those expectations, and we are all very saddened by the end, you know, the results that we had at the end. We are all very saddened by it, and I think that it's very, very appropriate that we render our unqualified apologies to all those who had high hopes in us and expected that the vetting process was going to lead to some history making. Unfortunately, we missed that opportunity, but I believe and hope that lessons have been learned, very useful ones, and moving forward as a minority, we'll be dedicated to living up to expectations of people we represent in the August House. Now to your question about
vetting.
Vetting. Ministerial
vetting. Is it important?
It is. It is. It is a constitutional requirement. In fact, Article 78(1) of the 1992 Constitution says that ministers of state shall be appointed by the President with the prior approval of Parliament from among members of Parliament. So the approval of Parliament is a prerequisite for one to become a minister. Now, the vetting process, or the vetting, is one of the processes that will lead to the approval being given or not given. But it is a prerequisite for one to become a minister of state, even though the President is one clothed with authority to do the nomination. Not until the person is approved by Parliament, he or she cannot be sworn in by the President as minister. Right. And that is why even in the outstanding orders, there's the procedure through which a nominee can be rejected or approved. So where a nominee is recommended for rejection on the floor, if the nominee is not able to pull more than 50+1 of the votes, members present and voting, that nominee is said to have been rejected by the House, and the Speaker of Parliament will have to write to the President to change, to make a new nomination. Right. So it tells you that the vetting process is critical. It's important. It's not just to tick a box. It's not just for the cameras. It is actually a prerequisite for one to become a minister of state.
But I mean, this argument has come up, and I've heard constitutional lawyers make this argument. At least two constitutional lawyers I've heard speak about the fact that disqualification in the process is constitutionally not possible. That there are specific, very specific, boxes to tick as to how you can disqualify somebody. And those requirements, virtually everybody who is nominated or has ever been nominated by the president qualifies. It is impossible for anybody to go against the requirements. And so disqualification constitutionally is an impossibility. What do you say to that?
I don't think that is what the framers of the Constitution had in mind when they set out to guide the process of choosing and approving a minister of state. I believe that the approval that is required gives room for reasons to be given, if any is adduced, for the rejection of a nominee. Yes, I understand when the lawyers speak of the constitutional limitations that members of parliament may have in rejecting or approving a minister. But like I said, that is just the latter. And the latter, it talks about qualification to become a minister. It's that simple. You just need to have been a member of parliament or have qualification to be a member of parliament. It's that simple. For you to be a minister, the Constitution says that you should come from parliament or should have the qualification to go to parliament. And then there should be no adverse findings, no criminal records on you and all that. Those are set out, criteria in the Constitution. But I liken it to a job interview. When an advertisement is put out, the requirements are given. You may have all the requirements and still go and not be picked. You can go for the interview, have all the requirements advertised, but you may still not meet the expectation of the interviewing panel. It may be because you are uncouth. It may be because you didn't dress well, or you didn't address the questions that were put to you well. But on paper, you would have ticked all the boxes in the advert for the job. You have a first degree, a first class, and you have 3 years working experience. You will have all the qualifications set out, but you can still go, and after the interview, you'll be disqualified. So I want to believe that the framers of the Constitution, knew that there can still be a way through which a minister nominee or designate can be disqualified. I don't think it is just cast in stone. And over the period, I recall the experience of Dr. Ekospi Ogabra. Yes, his was constitutional. It had to do with citizenship, and so he was disqualified. And that was even interesting. That was at a time that the Parliament of Ghana was controlled by the NDC. In fact, there was only one, I think, independent or PNC member of Parliament. The rest of them were all NDC members of Parliament. But they still found it necessary to disqualify him. Yeah, and many others have gone through, very tedious vetting processes, even though many have not led to disqualification. But issues of morality, issues of even truthfulness, that's still related to morality anyway. But and issues of criminality, even when it is not proven, but during the vetting process, one is able to demonstrate that the nominee may be standing trial for some omissions or commissions in his or her past life. I don't see how, after a vetting process, you're able to demonstrate somebody's culpability in a crime. You can't still, recommend that the person not be passed. Yeah, so I think that is why the process is there. You go to Parliament, the vetting, the appointments committee vets you, then they determine whether the House should approve you or not. That is still constitutional. And it is within the right of Parliament to approve, or if there's a word like that, disapprove you. You get it? And that is also still within the law.
From what you're saying, then it is possible to disapprove a nominee.
It is. It is perfectly possible. I mean, if Parliament decides through voting that the president's nominee is not fit to occupy that position, that's not an illegal conduct. That is a conduct or a process that the Constitution itself, you know, has identified and has agreed to be the procedure to appoint a minister. So it's not an illegality if, you know, during the parliamentary process, it ends in the nominee being rejected. That is also still legal in my view, and I don't see how that would be unconstitutional.
Right. So let's speak about, you know, these three nominees, well, presently ministers, you know, whose nomination, vetting, and approval became so contentious. Now, the points a lot of people raise is that some of the nominees were approved unanimously, well, by consensus. By consensus. And then, you know, you saw reason to refer some others to the floor of Parliament for rejection.
Right.
I mean, using the right terminologies as aided by yourself, Honorable, for rejection. So, I mean, invariably, by this process of referring some to the floor of Parliament for rejection, you tell us instantly that you have issues with these three nominees, that they are outstanding issues. Other than that, they would have gone through the consensus process of getting approval as well. Okay, so perhaps let's start with the process. Let's start with the process first, and you can tell us why, for instance, these three people did not get approved via consensus, and why you felt there was a need for them to have gone through rejection, you know, via the floor of Parliament. So take it one at a time, the process itself, and then the why.
Okay, so this is how it happens. After the vetting of a nominee, members of the committee sit to take a decision on the nominee. A decision to either pass the nominee or to reject the nominee. Now, there are three ways of taking the decision. The decision can turn out to be approval by consensus. It can also be by majority decision, and it can also be by a unanimous decision. So after vetting, we sit down as a committee, and each member, like it happened in the past during the 7th Parliament, is asked what his or her view is on the nominee. Approve or reject. Now, at the end of that, you determine if majority of people say the person should be approved, then the chairman writes the report, which we all go through and debate on the floor, and the question is put. This time, what we did was that we decided not to take decisions on the nominees until we had vetted some good number of them, so that we will sit down and review. So all the nominees that appeared after vetting, we just left because it was packed. So we just left after vetting to prepare for the next day. When we got to about 30 nominees, then we decided to now sit and take a decision on it.
On all 13?
On all 30, 3-0.
Right.
So on our side, as a minority group, we had a meeting and decided to take our decisions en bloc as a group and not as individuals, like I explained happened in the 7th Parliament. We decided to take our decision as a group on each nominee. So we then had to discuss among ourselves the nominees that appeared before us. If any member had issues with any nominee, you put it on the table and you canvass support from your colleagues to base on that reason to reject or approve the person. So in the end, the decision was that our decisions on every nominee will be based on our group decision. So that is how come we arrived at 3 sets. We had those that we all agreed to reject. There were 3. Those that we had issues with, but upon discussing among ourselves, we still thought those issues, if given a second chance, could be addressed by the nominees. Failure to do so, they would be rejected. So we put those in the category of suspension. They were suspended, or were on the suspension list. Then we had those that we didn't have any issue with and thought they were fit to be ministers. We approved unanimously, based on consensus. So we then asked our leadership to communicate that to the chairman of the committee.
Right.
So the chairman of the committee was told by our leadership that, look, these 3 people, our group wants them to go to the floor for a vote to be taken on their nomination.
Sorry to cut you. At this point, were you confident that these 2 people could possibly be rejected?
We were.
Right. Okay.
We were definitely confident that they could be rejected. So, as appointments committee members, we had done the vetting, and as a group, we had come to the conclusion that 3 of the nominees we had vetted that far did not deserve to be ministers of state. The 3 were Kojo Ponkroma, the Agric Minister, Okoto Owusu-Afriyie, and then Hawa Kumsen. As appointments committee, NDC members, that was our decision, communicated to the chairman. The second list contained Osla Owusu and
have a list.
Help me with the list.
I have the
list.
Yes,
the road minister of Foriata, Amoakwata.
Amoakwata.
Yes.
Kweku Fori Siama. John Peter Mewu.
Exactly.
Cecilia Bernard Dapa. Mohammed Ibrahim Awal.
Yeah. No, I don't think they were those that we approved on consensus.
These are the ones that you approved.
On consensus, yes. So those that we suspended, so that's the point. Let me continue. I'm sure we'll find the name. So they were to be suspended. Then we had this list of people we had approved based on consensus. So the report was done, and the report was laid on the floor. Now, we were confident that our colleagues who were with us, especially our NDC colleagues, were going to vote to reject the 3. We're also confident that some of the members of the MPP were also even going to join us. Because, you see, we were very careful about the list that we prepared. We were not flimsy with our reasons.
Right.
We were not doing it based on very flimsy reasons. Let me just put it that way. I mean, for somebody like Hawa Kumsen, we thought that if for nothing at all, the fact that she apologized during the vetting and claimed responsibility for the shooting that took place, and also indicated that investigations were underway, if for nothing at all, we thought that as a committee or as a country, it will be appropriate for all of us to wait for the investigations to finish before she's considered for any ministerial position. If the investigations eventually cleared her, the president could still nominate her again. We also thought that her apology was not backed by actions we thought she should have taken to convince us that they were really meant. For example, visiting some of the victims of, you know, the violence in the constituency. And and many other things. I mean, we listed those things, and they were captured in the report as reasons why we didn't think she should be a minister of state. Now, for the Agric minister, we pointed to abuse of office. In the case where he brought a classmate who used to work with COCOBOD and went on retirement as deputy chief executive. And when he was appointed Minister of Agric, he brought this friend of his from retirement, asked COCOBOD to take him back as deputy CEO. COCOBOD resisted and gave reasons why they couldn't take him back with the same entitlements that he used to enjoy before he went on retirement. Then he created an office for him in his office as minister, special advisor on cocoa affairs. Yeah, special advisor on cocoa affairs, and instructed COCOBOD to give him all entitlements reserved for deputy CEO. And that is the conditions of service under which his classmate works or has worked in the last 4 years. Complete abuse of power or office. Then there was an issue involving two companies at Gapoha. Now, government of Ghana through the Ministry of Agric rehabilitated a facility at Gapoha to be used for exporting horticultural products. Now, this facility was given to one company known as FTC, Fruit Terminal Company, to manage. Around 2015, the process of exporting fruits or horticultural products go beyond just the facility that was renovated by the Agric Ministry. But because the Agric Ministry renovated it, they have control over it. So they awarded its management to this FTC company. But the port activities that leads to exportation, like haulage, is still under Ghana Ports Authority. So Ghana Ports Authority also entered into a concession with another company called Fruit Export Terminal Company, FETC, to do the, if you like, the haulage, a concession. And as part of the concession, the company was supposed to build some offices for Gapoha and do some other things for Gapoha, which they did around 2015, costing about $30 million. Now, this minister, with power going in the wrong directions, just decided to terminate the contract between Gapoha and this other company, FETC, and directed Gapoha to hand over their job to this FTC.
Right.
Just like that. Despite warnings from Gapoha that, look, first of all, the agreement you are referring to, you know, doesn't exist. This company you want us to terminate their business with us will sue us for a judgment debt because they have already done this and that for us. He didn't care.
Right. So with him, the issue had to do with abuse of office.
Yes, yes.
Right.
And some other suspected corrupt activities, like the issue involving AMG company and others. So we raised all these issues, and we thought that they should be investigated. Then you had Kojo Oppong Nkrumah.
Right.
Kojo Oppong Nkrumah's case involved his private businesses, MX24 television, which he was not forthcoming with information. He was a bit elusive, evasive, you know, when questions about MX24 came up, and the ownership and directorship and all that. He was evasive, and we thought that wasn't very appropriate. And then again, he had a microfinance company, Oval Finance.
Right.
And he also had another company, Brownstone. And the microfinance was among the microfinance companies that the Bank of Ghana shut down for lack of liquidity. Now, it turned out from our records that we were able to get from the Bank of Ghana that there was some third-party lending that took place.
Right.
And so we didn't think that it was fair for others to be undergoing prosecution in this country for similar offenses. And for someone, even if he's not undergoing prosecution for that offense, to get nominated to become a minister. So those were some of the issues we raised with him. So these were reasons that we thought that the House, not just the NDC members, will rally around to support.
Okay, so this meeting that was had, for all of these reasons to be tabulated, was it a meeting of all of the minority side or a representation of the minority side?
We are a representation of the minority side on the appointments committee.
Right.
That is, all of us cannot be members of the appointments committee. So it is expected that a cue will be taken from the direction.
Those of you who are on the appointments committee. Now, were these decisions that were taken communicated to the rest of your colleagues as your fellow minority? These decisions that those of you on the appointments committee took?
Amma, I've said somewhere that in order not to have to go into the details where in the end you will have to blame some people and exonerate others, I've said on other platforms that we regret what happened.
No, but we want to know what happened.
And it happened.
Then we'll come to the regret.
And it happened. I'm coming. And it happened. I'll explain to you. I'll tell you why I'm saying that.
Right.
We regret what happened. And what happened because of some considerations and some confusion between party leadership and leadership in Parliament. We regret that it happened. But I'm saying that what happened because the way I see it, there was some considerations and there was also some confusion between party leadership and leadership in Parliament. Now, that is why, for example, I am unable to speak to the question of whether we pass on these decisions to
your colleagues,
to our colleagues who were on the minority side, because there were, I'll just go into one.
Right.
The last meeting that we had before we went into the chamber did not end well.
Right.
And this was a meeting that I'm sure all of these would have been discussed. But the confusion I speak of between party leadership and leadership in Parliament made it impossible for even the minority members who were not on the committee to be appropriately briefed on the decisions that the appointments committee members had reached and why they had reached those decisions and why they should support it on the floor. So we have learned very useful lessons out of this. And I am very, very confident that the reaction that has greeted our failure to